Chapter 6:10. Hee hee. You're really scheming everywhere you go. I'm really afraid that I'll fall into your trap one day. Looking at Lin Rei, Xueqi couldn't help but shudder. Her eyes were filled with shock. Hee hee. How could that be? Even if I wanted to scheme against you, you wouldn't even give me the chance. With that, Lin Rei turned to the direction of the ancient tribe leader and asked, "Grandfather, do you have any plans after this?" At this moment, the ancient tribe leader who was sipping on his tea, raised his head and looked at Lin Rei strangely when he heard Lin Rei's words. "Not at the moment. We'll take it one step at a time." Hearing these words, Lin Li went silent. Even though he had managed to persuade the ancient race to leave the Death Canyon, he didn't want them to participate in what was to come. He wanted the ancient race to live peacefully and not participate in any of the wars in the God world. "Grandpa, why don't I look for a paradise for you and the ancient race? Then, you can set up the ancient race as the new location. After all, it wouldn't be a good thing for the ancient tribe to stay there forever." At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, the face of the ancient tribe leader darkened. He said in a displeased tone, "Why? Are you looking down on my old bones for being useless?" What are you talking about?" He had not expected the attitude of the ancient tribe leader to be so agitated. Furthermore, he knew the cultivation state of this grandfather of his. He was a half-sage. If this grandfather of his was useless, then he would be even more useless. Since that's the case, why are you leaving the ancient tribe?" Hearing this, Lin Rei came to a realization. He hurriedly explained to the ancient tribe leader, However, just as Lin Li was about to explain, he was interrupted by the clan leader of the ancient race. "Don't bother explaining. Since the ancient race has already entered the God realm, some things are unavoidable. Therefore, there's no need to worry about the ancient race. Since I can summon the ancient race out, I'm not afraid of those things." He looked at the ancient tribe leader. Lin Rei was helpless. He knew what the old man was thinking, but he was unwilling. "Grandfather, I'm doing this for the sake of the ancient race and you. After all, you are Ling Er's grandfather, and the ancient race is Ling Er's family. I must ensure the safety of you and the ancient race. Only by doing so can I." There's no need to say any more. Since the ancient race has already appeared, there's nothing more to say. You don't have to worry about this and that. Seeing how determined the old man was, Lin Rei could only shut his mouth. He knew that no matter what he said, the old man would not leave. Fine. Take a look. However, I still stand by my words. The ancient clan is Linger's home. I will not allow them to be destroyed." With that, Lin Li stood up and bowed to the clan leader of the Gu family. He then left and headed back to his own room. Since Lin Rei had left, there was no reason for Xueqi to bring him along as well. She then stood up and walked towards the backyard, followed by the clan leader of the ancient race. And then Shadow. Time passed quickly. It had been dozens of days since they had arrived at Glory City. In this period of time, Lin Rei had not cultivated in peace. No, it could be said that he had not cultivated at all. Ever since he had promised his disciples that he would accompany them to shop in Glory City, trouble had arrived. On the first day, it was his eldest disciple. Then, it was his fourth disciple. After that, it was his other disciples. Of course, while the girls were shopping, the boys were pressuring him daily to impart battle techniques and skills. Even though Lin Rei was helpless about this, he was happy about it. Initially, he thought that everything would be fine after accompanying his 6 disciples. Who knew that Lin Mei would come as well? He could not reject this goddaughter of his. However, what he did not expect was that Shadow would be jealous because he did not accompany her for the past few days. In the next few days, Lin Rei spent all his time by Shadow's side. He did not leave her side at all. On this day, when the sun had just risen, Lin Rei, who was still sleeping on his bed, heard his wife's voice. Husband, we still have to go to Glory City's historical sites today." When the sleeping Lin Rei heard his wife's words, he immediately wanted to cry but had no tears. He wanted to pretend to be asleep. However, Lin Rei did not dare to casually provoke Shadow, who was also a god emperor. "Okay, I'll go." After saying that, Lin Rei sighed. Then, he began to put on his clothes. Lin Rei deeply understood this lesson. Because of this, he swore in his heart that he would never go shopping again. He would never casually agree to anyone's request, especially when it came to his own disciple's request. A few minutes later, a neatly dressed Lin Rei walked out of his room. Using his consciousness, he arrived at a spacious area in the courtyard. Then, he took a deep breath and began to move. Stellar finger. Immediately, Lin Rei, who did not use any of his cultivation, began to move. Just like that, with the strength of his physical body, he began to practice the stellar finger, a cultivation technique that he had learned from cultivation. He had long been familiar with this cultivation technique. Furthermore, he had cultivated it to the peak of the cultivation technique. It had even surpassed the cultivation technique's original level. Following the change in his breathing, Lin Rei's sword fingers moved even faster. Even without the support of his cultivation, Lin Rei, who had a God Realm middle stage body, was naturally not weaker than his cultivation. His speed became faster and faster. In the end, even the small amount of afterimages that could be detected disappeared. Stellar finger. Destroy the stars. Right at this moment, Lin Li's sword fingers struck the ground at high speed. With a loud bang, 100-meter deep crater appeared where Lin Li had struck. Walala walala. It was unknown whether it was intentional or not, but the power of this finger was so strong that it destroyed the entire courtyard. The surrounding houses were also affected. All the houses within a radius of 50 meters were now in the deep hole created by Lin Rei. As for the initiator of the deep hole, he was now standing in the middle of the deep hole, feeling everything around him with his divine sense. Who is it? You woke up early and didn't let me sleep. Do you have any morals? Are you still going to let me? At this moment, a clear female voice came from the deep hole. There was a hint of meaning in the voice. Damn, it can't be? At this moment, Lin Rei, who was standing in the middle of the deep hole, naturally heard this roar. As he was blind, he was more sensitive to sound recognition. Therefore, when he heard this sudden roar, the figure of a woman in fiery red clothes instantly appeared in his mind. Xueqi. Lin Rei, who was uncertain, immediately stepped out and came to the place where the voice came from. Using his divine sense, he saw a woman in red clothes, who was now embedded in the ground. Except for her head and some red clothes, there was nothing else. Damn, it's really her. When he sensed that this person was Xueqi, Lin Rei immediately felt regret. Lin Rei. At this moment, Xueqi, who was embedded in the ground, naturally saw Lin Rei's arrival. The moment she saw Lin Rei, Xueqi was furious. For such a large area of destruction, and judging from the momentum, only Lin Rei dared to do this. No one else had the ability and qualifications to do so. Thinking of this, anger surged up. At this moment, the undying flame rushed out of her body and rushed toward Lin Rei. Feeling the temperature of the flame, Lin Rei immediately took out the illusory spirit blood fire without thinking. Boom! At the moment when the illusory spirit blood fire appeared, the undying flame also arrived in front of Lin Rei and bombarded him. However, what made Xueqi depressed was that when her undying flame bombarded Lin Rei, the undying flame seemed to have sensed something terrible and instantly broke the connection with her. Then, it was swallowed by the illusory spirit blood fire on the surface of Lin Rei's body and became the nutrients of the illusory spirit blood fire. Damn you bastard! Feeling this, Xueqi felt helpless, but there was no other way. Then, she quickly released her cultivation. Suddenly, a huge pit appeared, and Xueqi was lying in it. Humph boy, you're really something. Xueqi, who was lying in the pit, lifted her head and looked at Lin Rei. Then, she stood up from the pit and took a step forward to Lin Rei's side. That. Sensing that Xueqi was still angry, Lin Rei quickly took out some elixirs and handed them to her. He said, although these elixirs don't have the effect of increasing your cultivation, you can eat them like candy. These elixirs have the effect of beautifying your appearance. Moreover, even if you eat all of them, there won't be any side effects. Really? Xueqi, who was about to attack, heard Lin Rei's words and immediately looked down at the dozens of bottles of elixirs that he had taken out. Looking at the elixirs, Xueqi asked hesitantly. As the saying went, medicine is 30% poisonous. She did not believe that these elixirs had no medicinal properties at all. Really? I used spiritual fruits to refine these elixirs. They are fragrant and sweet, and there are no side effects at all. If you don't want them, then forget it. I was planning to give them to my disciples. With that, Lin Rei was about to take back the elixirs. However, at this moment, Xuefeng reached out and quickly snatched the elixirs away. Sensing Xuefeng's current state, Lin Rei knew that today's matter was over. However, this matter was resolved. At this moment, the ground above the pit was filled with people because of the huge commotion. They were looking curiously at Lin Rei and Xuefeng, who were in the pit. What gave Lin Rei a headache was that his disciples were among them. They had heard everything that he said to Xuefeng, including the part about the beautifying elixirs that he had specially refined for them. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, a few figures had already jumped down from above. Immediately, Lin Rei probed with his divine sense. He saw his eldest disciple, fourth disciple, sixth disciple, and goddaughter Lin Lei. Seeing that it was them, Lin Rei's face fell instantly. Damn it, are you playing with me? Thinking of what he had said just now, he suddenly felt angry. Lin Rei wanted to slap himself a few times. If he had known that they were here, he would not have said those words just now. Master, do you still have those elixirs? We want them too. Quickly take them out and give them to us. As soon as these words came out, Lin Rei paused affectionately and said to them, Well, your master's wife is looking for me. I'll leave first. Chapter 6:11. As he spoke, Lin Rei exerted force in his legs and instantly disappeared into the deep pit. The place where Lin Rei had left had completely collapsed. This guy. Xuefeng, who was standing at the side, was shocked when she saw the traces left behind by Lin Rei. Physical strength? I didn't expect this guy to cultivate his physical strength to such a level. She had been shocked by Lin Rei ever since she met him in the underground world. No, since she made a deal with Lin Rei. Along the way, the surprises and shocks that Lin Rei had brought her had never stopped. Even in the Eldritch world, she had never seen such a person, not even the innate god fiends. She didn't expect to meet such a shocking existence in the future. Haha, it's getting more and more interesting. Maybe this guy can really overthrow the heavenly court and fight with a Dao ancestor or reach a higher level. He might even surpass the great Dao. Xuefeng smiled at the thought of this. The moment Xuefeng smiled, the surroundings seemed to lose their color, as if she was the only one left in the world. So beautiful! At this moment, Cullen, who was standing above the deep pit, had been paying attention to Xuefeng. When he saw Xuefeng smile, he couldn't help but blurt out, Haha, thank you. You're welcome. At this moment, a pleasant voice sounded from behind him. Cullen immediately responded. However, in the next moment, Cullen was stunned. When he turned around, he saw that Xuefeng had appeared behind him without him noticing. Cold sweat broke out on Cullen's forehead. Haha, don't be nervous. Xuefeng, who was standing beside Cullen, said when she saw Cullen's current state. Then she swaggered out. Phew, looking at Xuefeng's back as she left, Cullen felt a lingering fear in his heart. Just like that, the matter was over. On the street, Lin Rei strolled alone after coming out of the restaurant. He didn't want to go to his wife's invitation. Bang! Just as Lin Rei was walking down the street in a daze, he suddenly felt as if he had bumped into someone. Then, he came back to his senses and used his divine sense to explore the front. At this moment, on the ground in front of him, the person who seemed to have been knocked down by him, Lin Rei recognized him at first glance. Wasn't this person the 7 orifices exquisite person he had met when he entered the city? Suddenly, Lin Rei smiled and reached out to help her up. Sorry, I was thinking about something just now and didn't notice. Senior, it's fine. It's this little one's fault for bumping into you. At this moment, when the guard who was sitting on the ground saw the person who bumped into him, wasn't it the person who had revealed his shocking killing intent that day? His face was full of smiles as he hurriedly apologized. Haha, looking at him, Lin Rei's love for talent grew even stronger. For such a person, he would speak the human language. Although there were many people like him in the world, it was rare to see such an exquisite person. Are you free? If you're free, why don't you take a walk with me? At this moment, the guard who heard Lin Rei's words immediately looked at Lin Rei in confusion. Ignoring him, Chen Dan walked forward alone after she finished speaking. At this moment, the guard behind saw Lin Rei walking forward and hurriedly followed him. Senior. My name is Lin Rei. After feeling that the god was following him, Lin Rei hurriedly introduced himself. Oh. I'm Han Lei. Han Lei? Not bad, that's a good name. Hearing Lin Rei's praise, Han Lei immediately replied with a smile. Thank you. Here, eat this. At this moment, just as Lin Rei was walking forward, he thought of something and took out a pill from his ring and handed it to Han Lei. Instantly, the moment the pill was exposed, the fragrance of the pill filled the surroundings. At this moment, the street was already filled with pedestrians. The moment they smelled the pill, everyone looked at the pill in Lin Rei's hand with greedy eyes. At this moment, everyone had the same thought in their hearts. They all wanted to get this person's pill. However, when they felt the aura of the person holding the pill, they all retreated. This is for... At this moment, Han Lei heard Lin Rei's words and lowered his head to look at the pill. For people like them who boasted of being inferior, pills were something that they could only dream of but could not obtain. Other than a few people who tipped them, they did not have any extra money to buy pills. At this moment, when he heard that the person he had only met for 2 years was going to give him such a precious pill, suddenly, Han Lei was stunned. At this moment, if Xueqi was here, she would definitely be able to tell that the pill in Lin Rei's hand was the mind control pill that she exchanged with Lin Rei using the Phoenix Dance of the Ninth Heaven. That's right, this is for you to eat. You told me such important information the first time we met. This is what you deserve. With that, Lin Rei directly stuffed the pill into Han Lei's hand with a tough attitude and then continued to walk forward. Sensing the pill that Lin Li had placed into his hands, Han Lei instantly began to tremble with excitement. Gulp. At this moment, Han Lei looked at the pill without any hesitation and swallowed it without hesitation. In his mind, his thoughts were very simple. For someone who had no value and no ability, no one would want to harm him. With this in mind, Han Lei swallowed the pill. However, he did not expect Lin Rei to value him. Although he would not harm him, he would control him. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was walking in front, did not leave Han Lei for even a moment. He looked very nervous. However, when Han Lei swallowed the pill, he finally relaxed. Although there was an element of deception, there was no other way. Who asked this person to have the talent to gather information? He lacked such people. Therefore, all the coincidences were opportunities. For such an opportunity, it was very shameful to waste it. It's so fragrant. At this moment, Han Lei, who had swallowed the mind control pill, did not feel anything strange. He only felt that the pill melted in his mouth and a medicinal fragrance flowed from his throat into his stomach. At this moment, Han Lei's face was filled with intoxication and enjoyment. Lin Rei, who had been paying attention to Han Lei, laughed. He laughed very happily. Originally, Lin Rei did not want to control Han Lei's decision. However, when he thought of the traitor, he had no choice but to do so. Although it was a little unfair to Han Lei. Moreover, when it came to subduing Han Lei, many thoughts and decisions had floated through his mind before he decided to do so. The so-called strike while the iron is hot, it was just like this, right? Master. At this moment, a familiar voice sounded. Lin Rei used his divine sense to investigate. Han Lei had already arrived at his side and was respectfully following behind him. Call me young master from now on. Yes, young master. Seeing how obedient Han Lei was, Lin Li felt a hint of guilt towards him. However, when he thought about how he was going to help Han Lei reach the peak of the world and make his name known in the history of the deity realm, that hint of guilt instantly dissipated. Let's go. Tell me about this splendid city. It's been so long. Other than eating and drinking here, there's nothing else to do? As he spoke, Lin Li led Han Lei forward. On the way, Han Lei listened to Lin Li's orders, and then explained to him. Young master, actually, in the past, Splendid City wasn't a city. This place used to be a village. Later on, an expert named Splendid appeared in the village. Slowly, as time passed, the original village disappeared and became Splendid City. As for that expert named Splendid, he seemed to have entered a large sect called Enigma Palace to cultivate. After that, he never appeared again. As for the city lord, it has always been a disciple or descendant of the Splendid family. In front, Lin Rei, who was walking, heard Han Lei's words and immediately understood. Haha, I didn't expect Splendid City to have such a history. Yes. That's you and that little slut. I will sell you. Aren't you going to enter a good family? Bam, 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 woo-woo. At this moment, an angry roar came from afar. It was accompanied by a muffled sound and the cry of a woman. What's going on? Hearing the strange sound, Lin Rei did not release his divine sense this time. Instead, he asked Han Lei, who was beside him. Young master, it's a shop that sells slaves. Selling slaves? Hearing Han Lei's words, Lin Rei was puzzled. Although he had heard of the matter of selling slaves before, he had never seen it before. Yes, young master. Selling slaves is nothing in the divine realm. It's just that most of the people who sell slaves are bastards. They specialize in capturing those from the other races, the human race, and even the demon race. The so-called 100 races are just objects to be sold for money in the hands of these slave traders. Oh. Hearing this, Lin Rei's interest was piqued. Immediately, he grabbed Han Lei and said, "Let's go. Bring me to have a look." Yes. Han Lei, who had already eaten the mind control pill, naturally did not resist. As for Lin Rei's blindness, he did not ask about it. Soon, Han Lei brought Lin Rei to the place where the slaves were sold. There were many people here, and most of them were here to buy slaves. Then, Han Lei pushed through the crowd and brought Lin Rei to the front of the crowd. "Young master, we're here." Hearing Han Lei's words, Lin Rei used his divine sense. In an instant, everyone, everything, and everything appeared clearly in Lin Rei's mind. Even the ants and dust on the ground were completely presented to Lin Rei. Bam! Bam! Two muffled sounds were heard. At this moment, a shifty-eyed man was holding a rattan in his hand. At this moment, he was violently whipping a person with unkempt hair and a dirty face who was locked in a cage. Chapter 6:12. What a strong murderous aura. When Lin Rei released his divine sense to investigate the person in the cage, he suddenly saw a strong murderous aura in her eyes. But Lin Rei was sure. This kind of person must have never killed anyone before. Because, other than the murderous aura, he could not sense any hostility from her. Murderous aura is an invisible thing that appears after killing someone. However, as the number of people killed increases, the murderous aura will grow. But when the murderous aura reaches a certain level, it will materialize. Just like Lin Rei, when he was in the heavenly profound realm, he could already materialize his murderous aura. As for now, there were not many people in the God realm who could release their murderous aura completely. However, the reason why Lin Rei could feel that the person in the cage had never killed anyone before was because, on her body, he did not sense any hostility. But hostility. It was after killing someone. As the murderous aura grew, it did not matter if you killed 1 or 2 people. As long as you killed someone, there would be hostility. Humph. At this moment, when the person in the cage was whipping the person in the cage with a rattan, other than hatred, that person did not shed a single tear. Interesting. Lin Rei was very interested in this kind of person. So far, he had only seen one person like this. Here she is, everyone. I brought this person back from the desert. I heard that she is a descendant of the God clan, although she has not developed yet. But wait for 2 years, she will grow very well. Ah. A woman? At this moment, after hearing the hawker's words, Lin Rei was sure that the person in the cage was a woman. Lin Rei could not help but look at her a few more times. Young master, this is a descendant of the God clan? Descendant of the God clan? What's that? At this moment, Lin Rei was observing the person in the cage. When he heard Han Lei's words, he immediately asked doubtfully. When he came to the God realm, he only looked at the division of power and the currency. He did not see much else. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Yi Zichen was speechless. Han Lei paused for a moment, then opened his mouth to explain. The descendants of the God clan are the original inhabitants of the God realm. However, a clan like this is already very rare in the God realm. If I didn't hear this person mention it, I'm afraid I wouldn't even know that such a clan existed. Ancestors? God race. Lin Rei had a general understanding of the ancient people. However, he didn't really understand the God race. Logically speaking, the god race should also be considered a member of the god race now that he was an emperor god. The god race is a race. They were the first group of people to appear in the divine world when the divine world was first opened. I heard that this group of people was created, so they are called the god race. There are many other races like the demon race and the demon race. But for the god race, they are born in the god realm. As long as they find the right cultivation method, their future achievements will be limitless. At this moment, after hearing Han Lei's explanation, Lin Rei finally understood that there was such a race. Suddenly, Lin Rei felt that he knew too little. TSK, boss. Who knows if this is a member of the god race? Everyone knows that the god race has been extinct in the god realm for tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of years. Who knows if you're right? At this moment, the buyers below the stage started to question the seller on the stage. That's right, boss. You're not fooling us, are you? That's right, boss. What proof do you have that she's a member of the god realm? If you have, then take it out. As long as you can prove it, are you afraid that you won't be able to sell it? One person's rebuttal started to attract the attention of many people. In the end, the whole place was in an uproar. In this regard, Lin Li, on the other hand, was becoming more and more interested in the person in the cage. Of course, it wasn't just because she was a member of the god race. It was also because of her hatred and murderous aura. TSK, how would I know if she's a member of the god race? If I knew, would it be your turn? At this moment, the seller standing on the stage looked at the uproar below and suddenly felt depressed in his heart. But from the beginning to the end, there was a confident smile on his face. I can't prove whether she's a member of the god race or not. As for whether you want to buy this person or not, it's up to you. If you don't want to buy, I can raise her myself. I can't bear to part with such a beauty embryo. Beauty embryo? At this moment, after hearing the seller's words, Lin Rei was stunned. The face of the person in the cage was covered in dust. He couldn't see any facial features at all. If he said that she wasn't a human embryo, Lin Rei was a little worried. However, Lin Rei didn't want to know whether she was a beauty embryo or not. He only knew that he must have this person. Come, let's start the auction. The starting price is 100,000 gold coins. Each increment is 50,000 gold coins. The highest bidder wins. The auction begins. Bang! Only the sound of hammering could be heard. The people waiting to buy the slave below began to become restless. Although they didn't know whether the person in the cage was a member of the god race or not, the so-called gambler's psychology was that if they won, they would have made a fortune in this life. If not, at most, they would have one more slave at home. 150,000, 200,000, 250,000. In this way, everyone began to bid. Lin Rei didn't care about these people at all. Just like this, time passed little by little. At this moment, the bidding price had risen from 100,000 gold coins to 850,000 gold coins. At this moment, the person who bid had a wretched aura. At a glance, one could tell that he wasn't a good person. Moreover, he coughed from time to time. His eyes were sunken in. At a glance, one could tell that it was a sign of kidney deficiency. Humph, competing with this uncle, don't you know who you are? Small fry. As soon as the man spoke, everyone immediately glared at the person who spoke. Even so, no one dared to make a move. Young master, the bidder is the city lord's son, Jia Lai Roruan. He is currently the only son of the Jia Lai family. Because of this, no matter what mistake Jia Lai Roruan has made, the city lord won't say anything. In the end, the matter will be left unsettled. Jia Lai Roruan? After hearing Han Lei's report, Lin Rei didn't think about it at all. This kind of person wasn't worthy of his brain. No, he couldn't enter his brain at all. 850,000. Anyone? 850,000. 850,000 going once. 850,000 going twice. 850,000. At this moment, just as the seller was about to hammer down, Jia Lai Roruan was rejoicing. Just when everyone thought that no one else would bid, a voice suddenly resounded through the auction house. 1 million. Wah! As soon as the bid was called out, the seller suddenly went silent. The auction house was instantly shocked by the person who called out 1 million. At this moment, everyone's gaze turned to the person who bid 1 million. Even Jia Lai was the same. Humph, Who is it? Who dares to touch the person this young master values? Don't you know who this young master is? At this moment, Jia Lai saw that everyone's eyes were on the person who had placed the bid of 1 million. Suddenly, a feeling of being surpassed appeared. How could a prodigal like him, who had lived in a sense of superiority all year round, endure this? At this moment, the instant the crowd saw the person who bid 1 million for the slave, they instantly froze. Then they began to discuss spiritedly. Some mocked, some despised, and some looked down on the person. Haha, look, this person is actually blind. That's right. A blind person actually wants to buy a slave. But this person is really rich. TSK, a blind person actually has so much money. Why is the heavens so unfair? The person who bid 1 million was none other than Lin Rei, who was standing at the front. Just as the hammer fell and the transaction was completed, Lin Rei hurriedly shouted. At this moment, Lin Rei had a smile on his face. He didn't show any dissatisfaction, nor did he show any signs of anger. Humph! All of you shut up. Is my family's young master someone you can ridicule? However, although Lin Rei didn't say anything, Han Lei couldn't help but stand up and roar at the surrounding people. Oh, I was wondering who it was. So it's my Jia Lai family's guard dog. Since when did a guard dog have the money to participate in this kind of auction? At this moment, just as Han Lei was standing out and shouting at the crowd, Jia Lai and Ro Run, who had been outbid by Han Lei, had arrived. When they saw that the person who had shouted was one of the subordinates their clan had sent to guard the city gates, they instantly fell silent. Jia Lai Roruan hurriedly stepped forward and mocked. You, looking at this person, Han Lei didn't say anything. Although he had been taken in by Lin Rei, he didn't want to cause trouble for Lin Rei. So, he chose to swallow his anger. Haha. See, a guard dog is a guard dog. Once you see your master, you become obedient. Seeing Han Lei's silence, Jia Lai and Ro Run began to ridicule him even more. However, all of this didn't affect the progress of the auction. At this moment, the seller began to shout. 1 million going once, 1 million going twice, 1 million going thrice. Bang, sold. Congratulations to this person. When the hammer fell, it meant that the transaction was completed. Immediately, Jia Lai Roruan's face darkened. Then, he looked at Lin Rei behind Han Lei. Humph, you're the one who stole this young master's slave? The scene fell silent. Lin Rei ignored Jia Lai Roruan's words. He turned to the stage and said, Release that girl and bring her to my side. You actually... At this moment, Jia Lai Roruan felt even more humiliated. He immediately ordered the thugs behind him. Go, kill him! Who dares to touch my family's young master? At this moment, Han Lei, who was standing to the side, heard Jia Lai Roruan's words. He was instantly furious. Then he stood up and roared at the crowd. His eyes became incomparably cold, without a trace of emotion. Humph! What are you standing there for? Since you're looking for death, then kill him as well. Yes, young Master Roruan. Immediately, the thugs who received the order rushed towards Lin Rei and Han Lei. Their speed was so fast that Han Lei was caught off guard. Humph! What a disappointment. I wanted to rest for a few more days and didn't want to see blood. Looks like you're forcing me now? Chapter 6:13. Ha ha ha. Is this person stupid? Forcing you? Yes, so what if I force you? What can you do to me? My father is the city lord. What can you do to me? At this moment, Jia Lai and Ro Run laughed loudly after hearing Lin Rei's words. As they laughed, they couldn't help but mock Lin Rei. Ha ha ha. Jia Lai and Ro Run weren't the only ones laughing. After hearing Lin Rei's words, the surrounding people all laughed loudly. All of them were laughing heartily. Disdainful smiles and mocking gazes appeared on their faces. Han Lei couldn't stand it anymore. Immediately, he released his cultivation and rushed towards the people who were laughing at Lin Rei. The moment Han Lei rushed out, the short sword hanging on his back appeared in his hand. He rushed towards them with a murderous expression. Humph! Those who humiliate my young master will be killed without mercy. Lin Rei's divine sense probed Han Lei. A trace of a smile appeared on his face. Unfortunately, Han Lei's aura wasn't bad, but his level was too low. Han Lei, who was holding a dagger in his hand, had just rushed in front of that group of people. Before he could even make a move, he was kicked back. Bam bam, bam, flying backwards, Han Lei rolled on the ground several times before finally coming to a stop at Lin Lei's feet. Seeing Han Lei's sorry state, Lin Rei's face darkened. In the immortal world, everyone knew that Lin Rei was famous for being protective of his subordinates. At this moment, seeing his subordinate being humiliated like this, how could he, as the master, sit still? Using his divine sense to investigate the person who had attacked him, a bloodthirsty smile appeared on Lin Lei's face. With a raise of his hand, a surge of spiritual energy instantly shot out and transformed into a heavenly chain. It was so fast that before anyone could react, the chain had already bound that person. With a tug of his hand, the person bound by Lin Lei's spiritual energy chain was instantly pulled back to Lin Lei's side. Everything happened in an instant. What's going on? In the next moment, everyone came back to their senses. The instant they found the location of the person who had attacked them, they sucked in a mouthful of cold air and their expressions changed drastically. Who do you think you are to touch my people? Lin Rei said to Han Lei, who was on the ground, as he looked at the middle-aged man who was chained by his spirit energy chain. Pick up your knife and kill this man.
Yes.
Han Lei, who was lying on the ground, was stunned for a moment before he quickly stood up and nodded in agreement. A short knife appeared in his hand. After glancing at Lin Rei, Han Lei's eyes were cold as he stabbed the knife into the heart of the person bound by Lin Rei.
Poochie!
The sound of the dagger piercing the flesh entered the ears of the surrounding people. Immediately, the surrounding people all took a step back in fright. At that moment, hot red blood spurted out from Han Lei's dagger. The scene was extremely horrifying. Some people couldn't even bear to watch such a scene and immediately bent over to vomit. You actually dare. The person who had died was none other than Jia Lai's subordinate. Seeing his subordinate killed, although he was terrified to death, for the sake of his face and the fact that his father was the city lord, he once again summoned his courage and roared angrily at Lin Lei.
You're too noisy.
Hearing Jia Lai's barking, Lin Rei frowned. This time, he didn't hold back and directly used the star finger. Immediately, a fingerprint rushed out as fast as lightning and instantly rushed into Jia Lai's heart. Without a doubt, with Lin Rei's strength, it would be strange if the person who was hit by the star finger didn't die.
Bang!
Jia Lai's voice came to an abrupt stop. At this moment, his body lost all strength and fell limply to the ground. A small 2-finger-wide hole appeared in his chest. At this moment, blood flowed out from the small hole like a small stream. At this moment, a scream came out from the mouths of the crowd. Everyone knew Jia Lai and Ro Run. The instant they saw Jia Lai die, everyone panicked. This city originally belonged to the Jia Lai family. Now, the only male descendant of the Jia Lai family had died just like that. If this matter was known by the city lord, one could imagine what would happen. How terrifying would it be? However, all of this, Lin Rei didn't care. At this moment, he only cared about the female slave that he had bought on the stage. At this moment, when the subordinates who followed Jia Lai and Ro Run saw how powerful Lin Rei was, they immediately froze. It was as if their bodies were fixed in place by magic. They didn't dare to move. Their eyes were filled with fear and they didn't dare to look at Lin Rei. Young master, is this really okay? At this moment, Han Lei recovered from the shock of Jia Lai and Ro Run's death and asked Lin Rei with a worried expression. Don't worry. You don't need to worry about this matter. Lin Rei answered Han Lei's question truthfully and didn't pay any more attention to him. Regarding such a stupid question, his subordinates wouldn't ask. Of course, their strength was many times stronger than the city lord of the city. Young master, this is the slave that you bought. I brought her here for you to inspect. At this moment, the seller's words sounded. After hearing this, Lin Rei immediately used his divine sense to investigate. He saw that the woman with a murderous aura was following behind the seller. She looked very timid. Lin Rei nodded with satisfaction. Here, this is 1 million gold coins. Seeing that it was indeed the person that he wanted to buy, Lin Rei took out the 1 million gold coins that he had prepared beforehand and put it in his storage ring. Then, he handed it to the seller.
Thank you.
Thank you, young master. looking at the 1 million gold coins in the storage ring in front of him. The seller's eyes were filled with surprise as he hurriedly took it and then retreated to the side. As for the slave, at this moment, she was standing in front of Lin Rei. The murderous aura in her eyes didn't dissipate. Instead, it became even stronger. Looking at her, Lin Rei smiled gently and stretched out his hand towards her. "Let's go, follow me." Hiss. At this moment, the moment Lin Rei stretched out his hand, the female slave directly opened her mouth and bit his arm. To Lin Rei's surprise, the female slave directly opened her mouth and bit his arm. Originally, Lin Rei, who was at the middle stage of the god realm, didn't feel any pain at all. But what shocked him was that at this moment, a piercing pain appeared at this moment without any warning. "What's going on? Why do I feel pain?" At this moment, Lin Rei didn't understand at all. For the sudden pain, Lin Rei was very puzzled. Then, he hurriedly checked his body. After a while, he found that there was nothing strange in his body. Suddenly, Lin Rei looked at the female slave in front of him. Is it really this person? Lin Rei was uncertain. He hurriedly broke free from the female slave's mouth. Then, he rolled up his sleeves and saw a tiger teeth mark on his arm. It didn't disappear for a long time. Hiss. At this moment, Lin Rei confirmed that the one who made him feel pain just now was indeed the female slave in front of him. Haha, interesting, really interesting. You're the first one who can leave a bite mark on my body at the middle stage of the god realm and make me feel pain. At this moment, Lin Rei's interest in this person increased again. He really wanted to see what was so special about this person. Let's go. I'll take you to eat something delicious. This time, Lin Rei didn't reach out to grab the female slave. After the lesson just now, he didn't want to do it again. Then, he released his cultivation and formed an energy shield with his spiritual qi. The female slave was covered in it and floated in the air like a balloon. Hanlei, let's go. There's nothing fun here. Come back to the restaurant with me. With that, Lin Rei walked toward the restaurant with the female slave. As for Hanlei, the moment he heard Lin Rei's words, he followed him. At this moment, when the surrounding people saw that Lin Rei was about to leave, they quickly opened up a path for Lin Rei and the others to leave. Looking at the people around him, Lin Li revealed a smile on his face, then left. At this moment, when they saw the killer god leave, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. However, when they saw Jia Lai's soft body lying on the ground, their faces turned pale. Then they hurriedly left, far away from this troublesome place. At this moment in the restaurant, Lin Rei, who had been away for a long time, didn't know that everyone was looking for him like crazy. Especially Ying. When she knew that Lin Rei had left, she panicked. She was afraid that Lin Rei would leave without saying goodbye again. How is it? Did you find him? At this moment, Ying, who was standing at the entrance of the restaurant, looked at the Shura people behind her and asked them with a gloomy face. Madam, we found him. However, the young master seems to be doing something. We can't disturb him So? What? You found him? Where is he? Tell me. At this moment, when she heard that Lin Rei had found him, Ying turned around and asked them excitedly. He's... Just as the Shura people were about to tell her where Lin Rei was, a voice that surprised Ying came from behind. You don't have to look for him. Aren't I back now? Brother Lei? Lin Rei's voice entered Ying's ears. Immediately, Ying turned around and took a step forward. In an instant, she was beside Lin Rei and hugged him tightly. Seeing his wife's huge reaction, Lin Rei explained to her guiltily, Ying, I just went for a walk. You don't have to be so nervous. As he spoke, Lin Rei's hand gently stroked Ying's hair. Then, he led her into the restaurant. Master, at this moment. The moment Lin Rei entered the restaurant, everyone surrounded him, including Xiefeng. Humph, you brat. You didn't bring me along when you went out to play. You're so mean. Yeah, master. You went out to play by yourself. You didn't bring. Just as everyone was complaining about Lin Li, Lin Wanyu suddenly noticed the slave girl floating in midair. Her voice trailed off, and she turned to look at the slave girl with a puzzled expression. Looking at his eldest disciple, Lin Li raised his head and glanced at the female slave. He immediately said to her, Xiaoyu, take your junior apprentice sister and go clean this person up. Master, this is? When Lin Wanyu heard the order, She pointed at the person above her and asked curiously. I just went out to buy a slave from a slave dealer. I heard that she's from the Protoss and her cultivation speed is very fast. She might be a great help to me in the future, so I bought her back.
What? Protoss?
Chapter 6:14. Lin Rei was too lazy to explain when he saw how curious everyone was. He said, All right, why are you asking so many questions? Hurry up and go. I'll wait here. As he spoke, Lin Li destroyed the energy barrier. In an instant, the slave girl fell from the sky, and Lin Li instantly reached out to catch her. At the same time, he made a move to completely seal her movements so that she wouldn't be able to bite others. Moreover, he was afraid that this slave girl would injure his disciples.
After doing all this,
Lin Rei placed the female slave in front of Lin Wanyu and waved his hand to dismiss everyone. All right, you can all leave now. Hurry up and rest up. We'll leave in a few days and go to the next place. Everyone was stunned when they heard this. However, they didn't disobey Lin Rei's order and turned to leave. Brother Nan, little Tian, stay here.
I have something to say to you.
The two people who were about to walk out of the door stopped when they heard Lin Rei's words. They turned around and agreed in confusion. Everyone left very quickly. A few seconds later, only he, Evil Phoenix, Shadow, Han Lei, the young man who was called out to stay, and Lin Tian were left in the restaurant. At this moment, everyone gathered around the table and looked at Lin Rei with confusion. They were all guessing what was going on. Looking at everyone's expressions, Lin Rei smiled and said, All right, don't be so nervous. I just called you to say a few words. Everyone was helpless when they saw Lin Rei's sometimes serious and sometimes smiling face. However, they were already used to it. Kid, can you not be so nervous every day? Hurry up and say what you want to say. I still need to go to my beauty sleep. Just because they were used to it, it didn't mean that Xuefeng was used to it too. When she heard Lin Rei's words, Xuefeng rolled her eyes at Lin Rei and said unhappily. Looking at Xuefeng, Lin Rei was stunned. Then he pointed at Han Lei and said, This person is called Han Lei. You must have met him when you entered the city that day. Looking at the person Lin Rei was pointing at, everyone hurriedly nodded in acknowledgement. They had a deep impression of this person, especially the boys. Since that's the case, let's cut to the chase. Lin Rei looked at Han Lei and said, I want you to secretly establish a sect that specializes in intelligence.
What?
At this moment, Lin Rei's words shocked the surrounding people. Their faces were filled with disbelief. What's wrong? Is there a need to be so surprised? Isn't it just establishing a sect? At this moment, Lin Rei said it very casually. If this sentence was heard by the big sects in the realm of the gods, they would find it very funny. However, this sentence was indeed very serious in the ears of the boys and Lin Tian. They had watched the establishment of the Xuanzong sect from a small sect in the profound sky continent to a giant existence in the realm of the immortals. They knew every little bit about it. During this period of time, they were also present in all the big and small battles. Therefore, when the two heard Lin Rei's words, they knew that Lin Rei was serious. He wasn't joking. However, what they didn't expect was that the small matter that Lin Rei was talking about was establishing a sect. Damn, you brat. Is this a small matter? A sect isn't something that you can create just because you want to, and it's not something that can be created just by moving your mouth. It can only be created after going through an extremely cruel competition. Of course, other than those small sects, no one knows about the extent of the transformation. At this moment, Xuefeng was very excited. However, Lin Rei didn't care about her excitement at all. Moreover, he was only informing them. He didn't intend to discuss it with them. I know that. Don't worry. Since I'm going to establish a sect, I naturally know how cruel it is. With that, Lin Rei looked at Han Lei and continued. The sect that I want to establish can spread throughout the entire realm of the gods. Remember, it's a sect that can cover the entire realm of the gods, including the sects in the 9th continent. This kind of sect is specifically in charge of intelligence. At this point, Lin Rei looked at Han Lei. At this moment, Han Lei was already shocked. He didn't expect his master to have such an idea. Moreover, the most unbelievable thing was that he was going to establish it. I know, but don't tell me that you can't do it. Since I've chosen you, I have my reasons. Of course I have my reasons. You just need to say yes or no. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Han Lei was stunned. At this moment, his eyes were filled with confusion and confusion. He knew how Han Lei was feeling at this moment. Then he said to Lin Tian, who was beside him, "Little Tian, you've been with me for so many years. I believe you've learned a lot. This time, you'll go with me and do this well." At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, Lin Tian's body trembled. Then he replied with a surprised expression, "Yes, young master. Little Tian will definitely complete the task you've given me." At this moment, looking at the scene in front of her, Xueqi was completely stunned. Looking at the confidence in Lin Rei and Lin Tian's eyes, she was even more confused. In her heart, she still didn't believe that Lin Rei could establish a sect. Ignoring Xueqi and the others' gazes and opinions, Lin Rei said to Lin Tian, "The name of the sect will be Divine Secrets Pavilion. The specific division of the sect is up to you. However, what you need to do is to appear in the eyes of the world in the form of a restaurant. However, you can't be discovered by others. During the day, you'll open a restaurant. At night, you'll collect and sell information. Of course, it's good to kill people occasionally." When Lin Rei said this, Lin Tian immediately understood. Then he said to Lin Rei, "I understand, young master. But what's the name of the restaurant? You can't just call it Divine Secrets Pavilion, right?" "Diran Residence, the name of the restaurant. As for the headquarters, you can decide on it yourselves. I'll give you enough money. As for the manpower, I'll give you some elixirs. As for the manpower, you can decide on it yourselves. You know the power of elixirs, so what Brother Lei means is that I'll give you time, money, and elixirs to control people. As for how to arrange it, you can do whatever you want." After hearing what the young man wanted to say, Lin Rei nodded and praised him with a smile. Not bad. You're indeed a young man." When Lin Tian and Han Lei heard this, they both nodded to show that they understood. "Okay, you can carry out this matter in 2 days. I'll give you some helpers. As for how to contact them, I'll try to think of something for you in the next few days." "Yes, we understand." After seeing them nod in agreement, Lin Rei turned his head to the young man and said with a smile, "Young brother, you should go back to your old profession. Don't worry, this time, I'll not only give you money. When you're busy, I'll also give you those good-for-nothing disciples of mine. They'll be at your disposal." Don't worry. I'll let the 9 Heavens Trading Company spread throughout the realm of the gods." Hearing this, Dong Xiaonan confidently promised Lin Rei. "What, you brat actually still?" At this moment, Xueqi, who had been paying attention to the situation, was shocked when she heard the young man's words. Based on Lin Rei's arrangements during this period of time, it seemed like he was going to dominate the realm of the gods. Thinking of this, Xueqi couldn't help but look at Lin Rei a few more times. At this moment, not only did she feel that Lin Rei's cultivation was fast, but she also felt that he was ambitious. However, Lin Rei didn't know what Xueqi was thinking at this moment. However, Xueqi was wrong. Lin Rei did this because he knew that sooner or later, he would ascend to the realm of the saints. And he did all this for the sake of the Xuanzong sect and for the sake of his children who stayed in the Xuanzong sect. Moreover, these thoughts were only thought of after he found out that the Xuanzong sect might come to the realm of the gods. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble to do all this. Well, okay, that's all I'll say. Since you all understand, then do what you need to do. It's a good opportunity to relax and walk around here for the next few days. Otherwise, when you're really busy, don't complain. That's true. At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, the young man and Lin Tian quickly stood up, cupped their hands to Lin Rei, and walked out of the door. As for Han Lei, he didn't know what to do at this moment, but he couldn't disobey Lin Rei's orders. Then, he walked out of the door. At this moment, only Lin Rei, Ying, and Xueqi were left at the table. The atmosphere was very cold, so cold that it made people tremble. Lin Rei felt that something was wrong. He said to Xueqi, you should also prepare these days. Help me think of a communication spell. Damn, didn't you just say that you'd think of it yourself? Lin Rei had already thought of Xuefeng's attitude. As the saying goes, one needs to be shameless. Although he wasn't a scoundrel, it would be a waste if he didn't use such a huge treasure beside him. Since that was the case, it was fine to be a scoundrel for once. TSK, I don't care. Anyway, you have to help me think. Besides, during this period I have to think about what to do next. I have a lot of things to do. Not only do I have to sit here, but I also have to cultivate, advance to the holy world, and find the celestial emperor for revenge. At this moment, Xuefeng, who heard Lin Rei's words, quietened down instantly. She revealed a serious expression.
Okay, I know.
Isn't it just a communication spell? Xuefeng's sudden reaction. Lin Rei wasn't used to it. But when he heard that she agreed to help, Lin Rei was very happy. Okay, since you've agreed, don't go back on your word. I'll wait for your idea. Lin Rei's face relaxed a little. Xuefeng saw this and smiled. Then she stood up and walked back to her residence. Brother Lei, why do you want to establish a sect? Isn't the Xuanzong sect already here? Why? At this moment, Ying, who was in a hazy state, couldn't hold back her curiosity after everyone left.
Haha.
Hearing his wife's words, Lin Rei sighed and said, alas, we're already in the Emperor God realm. Sooner or later, we'll be one step ahead of them. Since that's the case, why don't we quickly accumulate more strength for them during this period of time? If necessary, we can even eliminate some sects that are harmful to them. I don't want them to be in danger. Chapter 6:15. After hearing Lin Rei's explanation, Ying finally understood that he had done so much for the sake of their child. Tears flowed out of her eyes uncontrollably. Why are you crying? Lin Rei sensed that something was wrong with the surroundings and checked with his divine sense. It turned out that Ying was in tears. Lin Rei asked in confusion. No, nothing. I just feel that you're working too hard. In fact, as parents, we don't have to worry about our children. Sometimes, it's better for them to go out on their own. Alas. I know that too. But do you think they don't give me any peace of mind? Let's take the matter of the entire Sect's ascension as an example. Lin Rei sighed when he heard his wife's words. Back then, I recruited all the top geniuses in the mysterious Sky continent. Each of them had a supreme grade spiritual root or a superior grade spiritual root so that they could become the mainstay of the sect. But now that prodigal son of a B*TCH Actually, at this point, Lin Li didn't continue. Although his words were filled with anger, his face was filled with doting love. Ying, who was standing aside, saw it clearly. Sigh. Well, no matter what you do, I'll support you. I'll stay by your side and never leave you. Then, Ying leaned on Lin Rei. In response, Lin Rei reached out and put his arm around her shoulders. They sat quietly and did not move. When will we be able to live the life of a farmer in the mountains and a farm in the countryside? Suddenly, when the two of them were sitting quietly in each other's arms, Lin Rei suddenly heard a sentence. Suddenly, Lin Rei was stunned. Then, he lowered his head and looked at his wife. Life in the countryside? This word was too difficult for people like them. Since the beginning of cultivation, they had always been moving forward in defiance of the natural order. The peaceful and serene life in the countryside was impossible for people like them. It was just an extravagant hope for them. However, at this point, Lin Li couldn't help but think back to his time in the profound Sky continent after he lost his memories. Back then, he had lived in the countryside. Thinking of this, a cute and gentle girl appeared in his mind at this moment. Husband, go ahead. I'll wait for you. I want to leave with you, Brother Rui. At this moment, a wave of memories of him and Jean Ling swept through his mind. Her every frown, every smile, every word, every action, all appeared easily at this moment. Alas! Letting out a sigh, Lin Li held Shadow even tighter. Although there had been some special reasons for this wife of his, after such a long period of time, he had already wiped away all of the negative elements that had previously existed. Right now, Lin Li didn't want her to be in any more danger. Of course, there had to be someone in the God realm capable of harming her. Suddenly, a shout that resounded through the sky came from the room. The voice was full of surprise and surprise. Immediately, Lin Rei and Ying, who were sitting at the dining table, heard the shout and their bodies involuntarily bounced up from their seats.
Xiaoyu.
Lin Rei was very familiar with the sound of the scream. After all, it was his disciple. He could not be more familiar with this voice.
Yes, it's Xiaoyu.
At this moment, after hearing Lin Rei's words, Ying nodded with a serious expression. Let's go and see what's going on. It's reasonable to say that no one here can touch her. With a worried expression, Lin Rei released his cultivation and reached out to grab Ying's waist. His body flashed and disappeared on the spot. At that moment, in Lin Wanyu's room in the backyard, Lin Wanyu was dumbfounded. Her eyes were filled with shock as she looked in front of her. She pointed a trembling finger in front of her as she spoke in a trembling voice.
Ma'am?
You're alive? At this moment, the place that Lin Wanyu was pointing at was a wooden barrel. In the barrel sat a young woman with fair skin, red lips, and white teeth. Senior sister, this. Didn't you say that Ma'am could not be saved?
How?
At this moment, Lin Yuro was standing at the side like Lin Wanyu. She was staring blankly at the young woman in the barrel.
I don't know. You.
Go and call Master. See what he says. He's the one who brought her back. Hurry.
Okay.
Hearing this, Lin Yuro did not hesitate and immediately rushed out of the door. However, at this moment, the moment she opened the door, a man and a woman were already in front of her.
Pang.
Lin Yuro's entire body fell backwards in a flash. Be careful. At this moment, the people who appeared at the door were none other than Lin Rei and Ying. The moment they heard Lin Wanyu's shout, they rushed over. Who would have thought that when they arrived at the door and were about to knock, a figure rushed out from inside. Lin Rei did not react to this sudden situation. In the end, the two people collided and the person who rushed out of the room was sent flying to the ground. By the time Lin Li came back to his senses, he realized that the person he had knocked flying was none other than his fourth disciple. He hurriedly stepped forward and reached out to catch her as she fell to the ground. Master? At this moment, when the person who was saved saw that the person who saved her was her master, Lin Rei, she immediately shouted excitedly. Xueqi, why are you panicking? Also, what happened to Xiaoyu just now? Why did she suddenly shout? Seeing that it was his fourth disciple, Lin Li hurriedly asked him all the questions he had in mind. Yes, Xiao Rou. Your master and I rushed over when we heard Xiaoyu shout. Are you okay? After hearing Lin Rei and Ying's words, Lin Yuro was stunned for a moment. Then she remembered what happened just now and said to Lin Rei, Master, it's not good. You, the person you brought back. What happened to her? Didn't I already seal all her strength? She shouldn't be able to hurt you. Seeing that Lin Yuro was stammering, Lin Rei was puzzled. He still had some lingering fear towards that female slave. When he thought about how she was able to bite through his body, Lin Rei was worried. That was why he sealed all her strength. That's not it. Hearing Lin Li's words, Lin Yuro hurriedly shook her head. With a face full of worry she said, Master, the person you brought back is too strange. Her appearance is very similar to Mistress's.
What?
Hearing this, Lin Rei couldn't help but look at Ying. His eyes were filled with confusion. It's not Master Ying's wife. That female slave's appearance is very similar to Master Jean Ling's. If you didn't say it was a female slave, we would have thought that Master's wife had returned. Whoosh! A gust of wind blew past his ear. At this moment, when Lin Yuro said that the female slave's appearance was very similar to Jean Ling's, Lin Rei didn't wait for her to finish speaking. He was excited and released his cultivation. Instantly, Lin Rei rushed into the room. At this moment, Lin Yuro, who hadn't finished speaking, felt a gust of wind blow past her ear. She couldn't see her master's figure anymore. His speed was so fast that no one present had even noticed how he had disappeared. At this moment, inside the room, Lin Rei rushed in. After entering the room, he extended his divine sense and began to investigate the entire room. At this moment, in a wooden barrel, a figure appeared in his divine sense. The moment he saw that figure, Lin Rei was stunned. His face was filled with surprise, disbelief, and shock. All kinds of emotions were displayed at this moment. Master at this moment, seeing Lin Rei's arrival, Lin Wanyu quickly went up and wanted to say something. Suddenly, her voice came to an abrupt stop. You go out first.
Yes, master.
Hearing her master's words, Lin Euro didn't wait for her master to finish speaking. She walked towards the door.
Little you, your master.
Just as Lin Wanyu arrived at the door, Ing also walked in from outside. The moment she saw Lin Wanyu, Ing asked with a worried expression.
It's nothing, master's wife.
Master said that he wants to be alone for a while. He wants us to go out first.
You see, all right.
Hearing this, Ing didn't resist and followed Lin Wanyu out of the room. In the room, only Lin Rei and the powerless female slave were left sitting in the wooden barrel.
Ling, is that you?
At this moment, Lin Rei, who was silent for a moment, felt that there was no one in the room to disturb him. The moment Lin Rei felt that there was no one in the room to disturb him, he stepped forward and trembled all over. At this moment, there was no sound in the room. The female slave sitting in the wooden barrel didn't reply. In response, Lin Rei came to her side and reached out to remove the seal on her body.
You.
Right at this moment, in the instant that Lin Li broke the seal on the female slave's body, she came back to her senses. When she saw that she was sitting naked in the water, with a man by her side, she immediately glared angrily at Lin Li. At this moment, the murderous aura became even more intense. It was as if she wanted to kill someone and rushed towards Lin Rei.
You're back?
Lin Rei directly ignored the female slave's murderous aura. To him, this murderous aura was nothing more than a spark. Although it could start a prairie fire, to him, it was nothing more than a scratch.
Humph.
At this moment, the female slave sitting in the wooden barrel heard the strange man's words and similarly chose to ignore him. She coldly snorted and turned her head away without looking at him.
You?
Looking at the female slave's appearance, Lin Rei suddenly came to his senses. Then, his face was filled with disappointment. He said in a self-deprecating tone, how is this possible?
Ling is already dead.
You're not Ling.
You're not my Ling.
I didn't expect the Venerable One's obsession to be so deep. It seems that I haven't cultivated enough? After saying that, Lin Rei didn't say anything else and headed outside. Just as he was about to reach the door, Lin Rei turned around and said to the female slave behind him, "Wash yourself. These are the clothes. Come out when you're done." Chapter 6:16. After speaking, Lin Rei no longer lingered and walked out. He didn't return to his room but went straight to the restaurant. "Take out everything you have here." Okay, please wait a moment." At that moment, Lin Li had an extremely ugly expression on his face. When the waiter heard his words, he replied in a daze and walked to the back of the restaurant. When he reappeared, when he came back, he held a few jars in his hand. "Young master, this is the best dragon fruit wine in our store. However, we don't have much, so, please make do with it for now." Dragon fruit wine. Hearing the waiter's words, Lin Rei went silent. He knew about the dragon fruit. Although it was called the dragon fruit, it didn't mean what it said on the surface. The dragon fruit had another name, the snake fruit. It was the favorite food of snakes and was also a precious elixir. After hearing about the dragon fruit, Lin Rei couldn't help but think about the dragon fruit. "Your dragon fruit wine is brewed from the dragon fruit?" At this moment, Lin Rei's words came out. When the waiter heard it, his eyes lit up and he proudly said, "That's right, our wine is brewed from the dragon fruit. In the entire splendid city, only our store has it. However, you should know that there are usually a large number of snakes living around the dragon fruit. Therefore, it is not easy for us to get it."
Oh, hearing the waiter's words, Lin Rei nodded and picked up a jar of wine.
He raised his head and drank to his heart's content.
Gulp, gulp.
The sound made the waiter's forehead break out in cold sweat. He subconsciously touched his throat and thought, "This person is too awesome. This wine is very spicy and this person can actually drink it like this." The more the waiter thought about it, the more he didn't dare to look. Then he said goodbye to Lin Rei. "Young master, please drink first. Go bring some dishes over. Also, this wine is not bad. Also, bring out all the wine you have here."
"What, all of them?"
At this moment, the waiter who had been interrupted by Lin Li was startled upon hearing his words. His face turned hesitant. "Go. Listen to him and take them out."
Just when the waiter was in a dilemma, a clear voice resonated from behind. The waiter turned around and saw a very beautiful woman walking towards him.
Haha, Xueqi? Why are you here? Didn't you go out to take a look?
He was very familiar with this voice, so he turned his head and asked her.
Tisk, it's just a small place.
I'll be done with a casual stroll, not to mention that I've been here for so many days.
At this moment, Xueqi had already arrived at Lin Rei's side. She sat down and replied to Lin Rei with an unhappy expression. Hearing this, Lin Rei didn't have the chance and continued to drink. At this moment, the waiter's eyes were fully focused on Xueqi. When she felt the waiter's burning gaze, Xueqi's murderous aura leaked out. Immediately, the waiter's infatuated expression turned pale in fright. It was as if he had lost his soul. He couldn't help but retreat backwards. Seeing the waiter's current appearance, Xueqi ignored him. Instead, she picked up a jar of wine from the table and drank it. Jia! At this moment, a woman wearing yellow clothes with a sparkling complexion walked out of Lin Wanyu's room. At this moment, Lin Wanyu, who had been waiting at the door, was stunned when she saw the person who walked out of the room. Her eyes were filled with shock. This is Master's wife? At this moment, the person who came out was none other than the slave that Lin Rei had bought. At this moment, she naturally didn't look as dirty as before. Yes, although I've only seen her once, but she really does look like her. Especially when she's wearing these clothes, she looks even more alike. Ying was also waiting with Lin Wanyu. The moment she saw the female slave, she was also stunned. However, she had seen the world before, so she quickly recovered and walked up to her. Let's go. My husband is waiting for you in front. As she spoke, Ying reached out and grabbed her little hand. Then she led her, Lin Wanyu, and the others to where Lin Rei was. Boy, hurry up and deal with the matters here. I'm tired of staying here. I don't want to stay here for another day. Do you understand? At this moment, Xueqi, who was drinking with Lin Rei, looked very annoyed as she poured out her dissatisfaction to Lin Rei. Looking at Xueqi, Lin Rei nodded and said, I understand. When I'm done here, I'll leave.
Then you'll have enough fun.
At this point, the two of them chose to remain silent. However, at this moment, Ying brought the female slave, Lin Wanyu, and the others over. Husband. A familiar voice called out to him. Immediately, Lin Li drank his wine, turned around, and sent out his divine sense. However, as soon as his divine sense reached Dao Ying's side, Lin Li was stunned. Looking at the familiar figure, the familiar clothes and the familiar face, Lin Rei knew that this was no longer his wife. His wife was already dead. When he thought that the person in front of him was his wife, a voice kept reminding him that this was not his Ling heir. It was like a demon's voice that could not be dismissed. Immediately, he withdrew his divine sense and straightened his posture. Well, let's do it. After saying this to the people behind him, he picked up the jar and took a big gulp of wine. Then, he ordered his eldest disciple, Lin Wanyu, who was standing beside Ying. Xiao Yu, go and find Xiao Tian. Tell him that I have something to tell him. Yes, I'll go now. Hearing Lin Rei's order, Lin Wanyu quickly nodded and walked outside. What's your name? These words suddenly came out of Lin Li's mouth. Instantly, everyone was stunned, their faces filled with puzzlement. Hong Xine. Just when everyone was puzzled, the female slave sitting beside Ying, who looked very similar to Jean Ling, opened her mouth. Suddenly, after hearing her answer, everyone understood that he wasn't asking them, but the female slave that he had bought. Oh, Hong Xine? Hearing her response, Lin Rei was a little surprised. He thought that she would not respond even if he asked. But he did not expect. The person who sold you said that you are from the God clan. Now I want to know if you are from the God clan. Lin Rei's question made everyone's eyes focus on Hong Xine. They all wanted to know about the God clan. Looking at everyone's eyes, Hong Xine's eyes were full of murderous intent, but she still told the truth. Yes, I am the eldest daughter of the God clan's Hong family. You really are from the God clan. Hearing her answer, Lin Rei nodded with satisfaction. During the whole process, Lin Rei did not use his divine sense to explore, so he asked in the dark. At this moment, Xuefeng looked at the two people asking and answering questions. Then she anxiously asked directly. If you are from the God clan, why were you caught by the traffickers? Also, there is no longer a God clan in the God realm. Why did you appear? How can you prove it? Hearing Xuefeng's question, Lin Rei was stunned. He did not expect his thoughts to be guessed by Xuefeng. For this, Lin Rei liked her even more and did not want to let her leave by herself. Say it, tell me this, maybe I will give you back your freedom. At this moment, Lin Rei, who was afraid that Hong Xian would not say, quickly said freedom. Sure enough, after hearing Lin Rei say freedom, Hong Xian's eyes were startled and tangled. At this moment, there seemed to be two of her fighting in her heart. One said to tell, the other said not to tell. At this moment, she was making a difficult choice. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Just like this, Lin Rei, who was waiting for Hong Xian's answer, was not afraid to wait. While she was making her choice, Lin Rei was drinking wine. Previously, he had finished the wine and thought that there was no more. But who knew that just as he finished the wine, the waiter, who was scared out of his wits by Xuefeng, took the initiative to take the wine out. Haha, feeling the wine on the table, Lin Rei chuckled and drank again. At this moment, it seemed that Hong Xian had made a decision. Her eyes were firm as she spoke. I am from the God clan. Moreover, the God clan is not silent in the God realm like you said. It's just that we are in another space. You just don't know. Oh? Another space? At this moment, after hearing Hong Xian's reply, Lin Rei quickly put down the wine jar in his hand and looked at Hong Xian with interest. Yes, the God clan is the first to live in the God realm. Therefore we have a bloodline that the later generations do not have. However, because of this, it is especially difficult for the God clan to continue to have children. It must be between the God clan and the God clan, and we can't marry outside. Damn, there's such a rule. At this moment, after hearing Hong Xian's words, Xuefeng suddenly burst out with vulgarities. As soon as she said this, everyone's attention was drawn to her. However, when Hong Xian's voice sounded again, everyone's attention was once again focused on her. Yes, that's right. The bloodline of the God clan is the purest. The elders of the clan are afraid that the bloodline will be tainted. So you are not allowed to like people from the outside world. You can only marry people from the God realm, and they must have a pure bloodline of the God clan. Seeing that Hong Xian was embarrassed to continue speaking, Lin Rei immediately continued her words. He roughly guessed the meaning and explained. Yes. Hearing this, Lin Rei despised the way the God realm thought. The world was the same, everything was the same. Not to mention the bloodline. Moreover, he did not think that there was anything special about the bloodline. Kid, don't underestimate your bloodline. Not to mention the God clan, even the sages would not underestimate your bloodline. Suddenly, the system's voice sounded. Suddenly, Lin Rei despised it. He was just thinking about it in his heart. He did not expect the system to peek into his state of mind. That I was just careless. Moreover, I was also very curious about Hong Xian's appearance, so I came out to take a look out of curiosity. Hearing this, Lin Li felt even more disdain for it. Previously, they had said that it could be saved, but in the end, it had caused such a ruckus. Lin Li didn't pay it any more attention, instead turning to look at Hong Xian. Then how did you get caught? Logically speaking, as the God clan, your cultivation should not be weak. Moreover, I heard that you were born in the God realm. Why? Chapter 6:17. Sigh. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hong Xian let out a long sigh and replied with disappointment. My Hong family is one of the strongest in the divine clan. However, because there are no boys in my Hong family, my father arranged a marriage between me and another strong family in the divine clan. However, that family's young master is also my fiancé. He is also my fiancé. He is greedy and lustful. He is an ignorant and incompetent young master. However, because of his innate spirit root and powerful bloodline, even though he is a hedonistic young master, my father, boo-hoo. At this point, Hong Xian was sobbing so hard that she couldn't speak. In the end, her whole body trembled. The murderous intent in her eyes intensified. As for what she didn't continue, Everyone knew. Wasn't this a standard marriage of interests? Both parties just took what they needed. Then, your cultivation? My cultivation was the day before my wedding. I secretly ran away from home. Originally, I planned to live an ordinary life and conceal my identity. In my family, marriage of interests is a common thing. I've always liked peace and quiet.
Just when I found a place to live in seclusion, my father ordered people to destroy the place I planned to live in seclusion.
All of it was destroyed. Oh, then your father is really not a good person. For the sake of the family's decline, he even used his own daughter to protect his daughter. He actually asked his own daughter to protect him. This kind of person is really disgusting. At this moment, perhaps Xueqi had drunk too much. She started to feel indignant on Hong Xian's behalf. In this regard, Lin Rei felt very helpless.
Go on, ignore her. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hong Xian continued, in the place where I lived in seclusion, there were many people. They were all ordinary people. In our place, there were not only people with the bloodline of the divine clan, but also ordinary people. They had nothing to do with this matter. However, because of this, in order to force me to submit, my father killed everyone in the village.
In the end, he even threatened me, saying that he only wanted to go to one place. Because of this, I could only give up on living in seclusion. But I really hated that playboy. In the end, I would rather hide in the corpse storage ground and willingly absorb the corpse qi all year round. But even so, he still refused to let me go. In the end, I reached out my hand in anger and took away my cultivation. At that time, I didn't know what happened, but I fainted. When I woke up again, I was already in the slave trader's cage. So that's how it is. After listening to Hong Xian's words, Lin Rei smiled. After all this time, it turned out to be a drama of running away from marriage. All right, I've told you everything now. You promised me my freedom. Can I leave now? Looking at Lin Rei, Hong Xian asked in a weak tone. I'm sure, Ari, really? Hearing Lin Rei's answer, Hong Xian's face revealed a happy smile. However, the moment she heard Lin Rei's next sentence, the smile on her face instantly disappeared. You can leave now. But I have to advise you. In this place, other than this city, even if you fly for 2 months, you might not be able to find another city. Moreover, you don't have any cultivation now. If you are caught by those slave traders again, with your current appearance, even if they don't sell you, they will still have to keep you for themselves to enjoy. Sure enough, the moment she heard this sentence, Hong Xian also realized the seriousness of this matter. For a person of noble birth like him, his ability to understand should not be bad. However, she also quickly realized that the person in front of her had clearly thought of the consequences of this matter. Thinking of this, Hong Xian glared fiercely at Lin Rei. Her eyes were filled with hatred. She hated him so much that she gnashed her teeth. She wanted nothing more than to eat him alive. Haha, you don't have to look at me like that. I am doing this for your own good. If you leave now, you will undoubtedly be courting death. Saying this, Lin Rei paused for a moment. Then he looked at Hong Xian and said again, I will give you 2 choices now. First, I can let you become a person above all others. You will have power that does not belong to your father, or even surpass your father. Of course, the condition is that you have to work for me unconditionally. If I kill you, you will not be able to live. What you? At this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, Hong Xian's face turned gloomy. The moment she heard this sentence, she shouted angrily. Do you think I am stupid? Isn't this a slave contract? That's right. This is a slave contract. Of course you have a second choice. What is it? Hearing this, Hong Xian, who had calmed down, looked at Lin Rei with a puzzled gaze and asked. That is, if you leave now, you will either be killed, captured, or eaten by demonic beasts. Of course, I will not say what will happen after that. Anyway, the end result will be death. Even if I tell you, you will not be interested in hearing it. You bastard. At this moment, Hong Xian finally understood what it felt like to be in a pirate's boat and never be able to escape. At this moment, she was like a fish on a display board. She had no choice but to be cooked by someone else. Using his divine sense to check on Hong Xian, Lin Rei drank his wine unhurriedly, ate the side dishes, and crossed his legs. He looked like a gangster. It's okay. Take your time to think about it. Anyway, we have plenty of time. We can afford to waste it. Hearing this, everyone present was speechless. At this moment, Lin Rei was completely different from the person they knew. In the past, he was high and mighty, but always cold. But now, it was as if he was a completely different person. His face was full of smiles. At this moment, Ying, who was sitting at the side and watching him, could not help but feel jealous of Hong Xian. It seems like he still hasn't forgotten her. Otherwise, he would not treat someone who looks like her like this. She sighed inwardly, then pulled herself together and stood up. Looking at Hong Xian, she said, "Actually, the first choice is fine. My husband has already taken good care of you." When Lin Rei, who was drinking, heard his wife's words, he suddenly felt as if he had poked a hornet's nest. He became nervous. Haha, that Ying. Come, sit down and wait. It's so tiring to stand. Isn't she willing to think? Let her think about it. With that, Lin Rei stood up and came to Ying's side. Then, he carried him to the table and sat down again. As for Ying, Lin Rei forced him to sit on his lap. Husband, this is not good. There are so many people watching. Tisk, what's wrong with it? You're my wife. What's wrong with hugging my wife? If anyone has a problem with it, let him come to me. See if I don't slap him to death. In the face of Ying's shyness, Lin Rei quickly calmed him down. Slowly, Ying got used to this. In the end, he simply leaned on Lin Rei and waited for Hong Xian's answer. Seeing his husband's actions, Ying was extremely happy. This was the first time he had treated him like this. Time passed slowly. In such a quiet atmosphere, Lin Rei and Xie Feng drank non-stop. Even Ying joined in. At this moment, an old but powerful voice resounded from the outside. Hearing someone call out to him, Lin Li hurriedly raised his head. He saw an old man in his 60s walk in from outside. The moment he saw that it was the leader of the ancient tribe, Lin Rei quickly stood up and bowed to him. "Oh, it's grandfather. You must be having fun." Ying, who was beside him, stood up when Lin Rei stood up. She followed Lin Rei and bowed to the old man. Ying greets grandfather. "Ha ha ha, all right. We're all family. What's the point of all this? Don't do this in the future." Looking at Lin Rei and Ying, although he said that, his heart was filled with warmth and happiness. "Yes, I'll listen to grandfather." "All right, please continue." At this moment, just as the leader of the ancient race was about to leave, he caught sight of a familiar-looking person beside him. Turning his head around, he caught sight of Hong Xian, who was seated down. Instantly, he froze on the spot. His face and eyes were filled with disbelief and shock. Ling, is that you?" His voice was trembling as he spoke with a sobbing tone. The moment he heard the words of the Gu clan leader, Lin Li knew that he must have seen Hong Xian. He hurriedly stepped forward to stop him. Grandfather, this person isn't Ling. She just looks like Ling. What?" When the leader of the ancient tribe saw Hong Xian, he was about to step forward to greet her. However, he was stopped by Lin Rei. Instantly, the old man was stunned. How can someone look so similar? She's too similar. At this moment, he knew what the old man was thinking. He was in the same situation previously. In fact, he was even more in disbelief than the old man. However, he chose to accept the truth eventually. Looking at him, Lin Rei did not disturb him. He retreated to the side and waited quietly. "Miss, I would like you to be my granddaughter. Are you willing?" "What? Are you serious?" The ancient clan leader, who had been silent for a long time, suddenly spoke out. The moment his words left his mouth, everyone present cried out in shock. What's wrong? I can't?" Looking at the reaction of the crowd, the old man questioned the crowd. Then, he stared intently at Hong Xian. His eyes were filled with anticipation. "How is it, young lady? I know it's very presumptuous, but I'm willing." "What?" As the saying goes, one's words will shock others to death. Looking at one reckless person acknowledging his granddaughter and the other nodding her head without hesitation, Lin Rei and the crowd were speechless. This was too rash. Ha ha ha. All right. In that case, my name is Gu Wen. I'm the leader of the ancient tribe who guards the entrance to the ghost realm. Hong Xian, the eldest daughter of the Hong family of the deity tribe and the granddaughter of the leader of the ancient tribe. Hearing her god-grandfather's self-introduction, Hong Xian immediately told him her identity. The Hong family of the deity tribe. Gu Wen's expression froze when he heard Hong Xian's words. Then he spoke in a profound manner and no longer spoke. Chapter 6:18. Grandfather, you are too careless. You can't just see that she looks like Ling, you. Humph. No need to say any more. This matter is settled. I, Gu Wen, acknowledge Hong Xian as my granddaughter. Gu Wen was so determined that Lin Rei did not say anything. He sat down again and drank a mouthful of wine gloomily. Then he said to Hong Xian, who was beside him, "Since I have acknowledged you as my granddaughter, then act like a granddaughter. Remember, this is not the plane of the god tribe. This is the realm of the gods." When Hong Xian heard what Lin Rei said, she looked at Lin Rei in surprise. Her eyes were filled with doubt, but she still nodded and agreed. "Don't worry, I, Hong Xian, acknowledge Grandpa Gu Wen as my god-grandfather. I will be filial to you in the future." When Lin Rei heard this, he ignored her and stood up. Then, he pulled Ying and walked out of the door. Before he left, Lin Rei said to Gu Wen, who was standing beside him, "Grandfather, I respect your decision." After saying that, he left the restaurant, even forgetting about the appointment with Lin Tian. Sigh. At that moment, Gu Wen, who was watching Linli leave, sighed as he looked at Linli's back. Then, he walked back helplessly. "Everyone, I will take my leave first." When Hong Xian saw Gu Wen leave, she quickly stood up and said to the people around her. Then, she left and chased after Gu Wen. The scene was very awkward and quiet. Only Xueqi, who was still drinking, and Lin Euro, who was in a daze, were left standing in the same place, not knowing what had happened. Okay, they have all left. Hee, Xueqi, why don't you drink with me? It is a good opportunity to train your drinking ability. That senior eye. At that moment Lin Euro, who had not left, frowned when she heard what Xueqi said. Then, she wanted to leave. However, at that moment, a fiery red suction force appeared and her body flew uncontrollably toward the dining table. "What, senior? You are calling me old. I have lived for a few 100 million years at most." That is about right. Call me sister." Am several 100 million years? Shock. At this moment, Lin Euro didn't have any expression. There was only shock at Xueqi's age. "All right, let's not talk about a few 100 million. Hurry up and drink." At this time, while Lin Euro was still in shock, Xueqi directly picked up a wine jug. Then, when Lin Euro wasn't paying attention, she aimed the jug at her mouth. The wine jug's mouth was aimed at Lin Euro's mouth. Cough cough, Lin Euro, who had never drunk alcohol before, was caught off guard by Xueqi. As the wine entered her throat, a spicy sensation appeared. Unable to withstand the taste, Lin Euro began to cough violently. Her face began to turn red, as if she was drunk. Ha, this won't do. I can't drink this much. Only Lin Rei can." He looked at Lin Euro. Xueqi didn't try to hide her laughter. However, at this moment, Lin Rei, whom Xueqi had mentioned, was walking on the street with Ying by his side. "Husband, let's..." At this moment, Ying, who had followed Linli out, was looking at the people on the street. Her face was full of confusion as she asked her husband, who was sitting on top of her. "It's nothing. Walking will clear my mind. Then I'll know what to do next." Without waiting for Ying to finish speaking, Lin Rei quickly interrupted. His tone was calm, and it didn't seem like he was sulking at all. Hearing her husband's words, Ying quickly nodded and hugged his arm. Then, she didn't say anything else. "Host, what's wrong?" The sudden words stunned Lin Rei. He didn't stop walking. Puzzled, he replied to the system. "What do you mean what's wrong? Also, you actually took the initiative to speak." Haha, this is a 1,000-year-old anecdote. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the system was silent for a moment. Then it said, "Humph, I'm just concerned about you. You're the host after all. If I don't care about you, who would I care about?" Don't. It's not good for you to care about me. Isn't that the saying? One doesn't visit a temple without a cause. People say that all businessmen are evil. You can even squeeze oil out of me. Haha, you brat. Lin Rei's words made the system feel helpless. However, it couldn't help it. As expected, Lin Rei guessed correctly. Looking at Lin Rei, the system said, "Mission. You can choose whether to accept it or not. You can choose not to accept it." Mission. Hearing that there was a mission, Lin Rei was energized. He had been in the celestial realm for so many years. This was the first time he heard of a mission from the system. Yes, a mission. It's optional. If you accept it, there may be some rewards. Of course, if you don't accept it, you won't lose much either. In response to the system's words, Lin Rei was speechless. However, since there was a mission, he didn't care about that. Alright, cut the crap. Hurry up and tell me what the mission is. I've been resting for the past few days. Moreover, I haven't been cultivating for the past few days. I feel like my cultivation won't retreat. Looking at Lin Rei's agitated expression, the system chuckled and said, "Alright, I know you're upset. Wait, I'll give you a mission now." Hearing this, Lin Rei became serious. Ding dong. Mission. Break through to the godly venerable realm in 1,000 years and ascend to the holy realm. Mission reward. The first 5 levels of the chaotic heavenly scripture. Failure will be directly erased. Ding dong. Host, do you want to accept the mission? Yes or no? Damn. This? You bastard. Hearing the system's mission, Lin Li suddenly had the urge to curse or even beat someone up. The reward of this mission was the thing he wanted the most. This was equivalent to letting someone grab hold of his weakness. Accept it. He didn't have the confidence to break through to the godly venerable realm and ascend to the holy realm in 1,000 years. Don't accept it. Then the first 5 levels of the chaotic heavenly scripture would be gone. However, this chaotic heavenly scripture was something he had to possess. Otherwise, his cultivation would stagnate. Looking at this choice, Lin Rei fell silent. He was afraid that he wouldn't be able to cultivate to the level mentioned by the system, even if he cultivated for 1,000 years. Then the only thing waiting for him would be death. How about it? Will you accept it? Of course, like I said, this is optional. You can accept it or not. It's up to you. Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei couldn't help but curse. You bastard, you old bastard. Don't you understand that you're setting me up? You, ##at, F***CK. That's right. I'm setting you up. So what? It's still the same. It's up to you to choose or not. Looking at Lin Rei's angry expression, the system didn't lie. In fact, it admitted it very frankly. However, Lin Rei didn't know what to do. The temptation of the chaotic heavenly scripture was too great. He couldn't resist it at all. Looking at the choice in front of him, Lin Rei made up his mind and said, "Okay, I'll accept it. Isn't it just a mission? Isn't it just to enter the holy realm in 1,000 years? TSK, what's so great about it? Just wait, I'll definitely complete this mission. I won't let you erase me." Stinking brat. An electronic voice sounded in the system. It sounded like it didn't know whether to laugh or cry. If Lin Rei was here, he would definitely be shocked to hear this voice. You force me to do what I can. It's good to give you some benefits. After all, you can't just let the cow work and not let the cow eat grass. Saying this, the system laughed twice. Then, its voice sounded in Lin Rei's mind again. Ding dong, mission. Refine the heaven-reaching pagoda. Mission reward, slaughter domain can be used directly. Chaos Dragon Spear unlocked 1 layer of seal. The moment he heard that he would be rewarded for the second mission, Lin Rei was stunned. His face was filled with disbelief. However, he was more confused than confused. Damn, what's going on? Heaven-reaching pagoda? He didn't know about the heaven-reaching pagoda. However, he had always dreamed of obtaining a domain. As for the seal of the Chaos Dragon Spear, he was even more familiar with it. When he obtained the Chaos Dragon Spear, there was a note saying that the Chaos Dragon Spear's realm was very high. The moment he heard about the 2 rewards, Lin Rei was secretly delighted. He didn't dare to say that he was the second best blacksmith in the divine world. After all, he was already an honorable blacksmith. Hee, how about it? Take this mission as the reward for the first character. Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. Then he chuckled and said, "Sure, it'll be great if there are missions like this in the future." Hee. Looking at Lin Rei's fantasy, the system didn't hesitate to ridicule him. "You're thinking too much. You should know that the higher your level, the fewer missions there are." This time, there was only one mission. However, to compensate for the first mission, I forcefully added another one. That's why you should be content with what you have. This kind of good thing won't happen every time. Furthermore, you'll have to wait until you break through to the Saint Realm. Don't forget that you're just a middle-stage God Emperor now. There are still 4 or 5 realms waiting for you. AI. Hearing this, Lin Rei felt that time was tight. Thinking about the mission he just accepted, Lin Rei began to regret. Breaking through from the God Emperor realm to the Saint Realm in 1,000 years might seem simple, but it was actually filled with difficulties. This didn't only require comprehension of the realms, it also required an increase in strength. As the saying goes, there are thousands of changes in an instant. Who knew what would happen in the next moment? Ding dong. Does the host accept the mission of refining the heaven-reaching pagoda? It's a self-selected mission. You can choose to accept or not. Damn, do you think I'm stupid? Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei's expression changed. He immediately said, "Accept, of course I accept. I've never been a coward when it comes to blacksmithing." Ding dong. Congratulations to the host. You've accepted the mission successfully. The countdown for the mission starts today. Please complete the mission as soon as possible within the time limit to avoid being obliterated. Of course, you can also submit the mission in advance. Why do I feel like I've been cheated again? Hearing the system's words, Lin Rei felt uneasy. It felt like he'd been cheated again. Chapter 619. City Lord, it's this person. He's the one who killed the young master. At that moment, not far away from Lin Rei, a group of people were walking towards him aggressively with murderous looks on their faces. When the man in the lead saw Lin Rei and his wife, one of his subordinates quickly jumped out and pointed at Lin Rei. "What? Is it this blind man?" When he heard his subordinate point out his son's murderer, his face turned ugly. The middle-aged man in the lead was none other than Jialai Roruan's father, the current city lord of Jialai City, Jialai Wu. Originally, he had planned to patrol the city. Suddenly, he received news from his son that Jialai Roruan was dead. Immediately, Jialai Wu was on the verge of going berserk. Immediately after, he grabbed the person who had escaped and brought him into the city. He began to search the city one by one for the sake of finding the person who had killed Jialai and Roruan. Unfortunately, right at this moment, no one expected that they would run into that person on the main street. At that moment, Lin Rei, who had just finished talking to the system, suddenly felt a murderous aura coming towards him. Immediately, he used his divine sense to investigate and rushed towards the source of the murderous aura. It's him. When his divine sense detected the source of the murderous aura, he saw a man who affected him. Wasn't that Jialai Roruan's subordinate who had murderous aura in the slave auction house? When he saw the man's respectful attitude towards the middle-aged man in the lead, he immediately guessed his identity. Haha, after killing the young one, the old one is coming. What? At that moment, Ying, who had been following beside him, heard her husband's words and asked, "Haha, it's nothing. It's just a bunch of flies." After comforting his wife, he brought her towards the group of people. City Lord, he's coming. At that moment, the messenger saw Lin Rei walking towards them. His face turned pale and his body trembled as he hid behind the crowd. Hearing the subordinate's report, Jialai Wu looked at the person who had killed his son walking towards him. The murderous aura on his face became more and more intense. "Brat, are you the one who killed my son?" "Heh, that's right. I was the one who killed your son."
What do you want? Hearing the middle-aged man's words, Lin Rei chuckled. He already knew. Middle Godly Emperor. Although he could be considered a powerhouse in a remote place like the God Realm, he was nothing in front of Lin Rei. You, at this moment, seeing that the person in front of him had confessed, Jia Lai Wu immediately released his cultivation. Majestic waves of cultivation forcefully pushed the surrounding subordinates with lower cultivation to the side. Hee. Looking at the middle-aged man's actions, Lin Rei stepped forward and was ready to attack. However, at this moment, Ying, who was standing by the side, hurriedly stopped him and stepped forward. Husband, there's no need for you to deal with such a small character. I'm enough. Looking at his wife, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. Then he stepped back. Others might not know, but he knew that his wife's cultivation was much higher than his. You, at this moment, when Jia Lai Wu saw that the two people in front of him were pushing each other back and forth, he became even angrier. Especially when the one who was about to attack was a woman. Suddenly, Jia Lai Wu was furious. You all deserve to die. Go to hell. After saying that, he did not wait for Ying to prepare. Without waiting for the surrounding people to disperse, Jia Lai Wu slashed at Ying with his huge sword. Humph. Ying, whose back was facing Jia Lai Wu, felt the movement behind her. She smiled at Lin Rei and said as if she was not worried about Jia Lai Wu at all. Husband, what do you think we should eat tonight? Looking at her, Lin Rei was stunned for a moment. Then he said, What do you think? I'll cook for you. I haven't cooked for a long time. Okay, it's decided. You can't lie to me. Hearing her husband's words, Ying's face was filled with a feminine smile. You, at this moment, Jia Lai Wu, who was in mid-air, held his huge sword and came down. Seeing that the two of them were still discussing what to eat tonight and were not prepared to fight with him, Jia Lai Wu's eyes turned cold. Go to hell. Go to hell with my son. Ha, so noisy. When Ying heard that voice, he looked ice-cold and released his strength. He didn't even look at Jia Lai Wu. He waved his hand and a gigantic hand appeared in front of Jia Lai Wu. It was as fast as lightning. It appeared in front of Jia Lai Wu without any warning. What? At this moment, Jia Lai Wu, who was still in mid-air, felt the energy from the palm print in front of him. He was shocked and wanted to block it. Bang! A loud sound was heard. Jia Lai Wu screamed. At this moment, he was sent flying by Ying's palm print. Piff! Jia Lai Wu spat out a mouthful of blood as he was sent flying. His face was incomparably pale, and his aura instantly withered. How is this possible? This person's strength. At this moment, there was only one thought in Jia Lai Wu's mind. Why is this woman in front of him so strong? Plap! Jia Lai Wu finally landed on the ground. Of course, he was sent flying by Ying. Lying on the ground, Jia Lai Wu's face was pale and his eyes were filled with despair. However, there was also a trace of madness in his eyes. Humph! How dare you talk big in front of my husband? Today, the Emperor will kill you and let you return to the River of Time. Looking at Jia Lai Wu who was lying on the ground, Ying Wu's face was filled with murderous intent. Then she walked towards him. Step by step, Jia Lai Wu was no longer afraid. All he felt was shock and a desire to avenge his dead son. Ha. Suddenly, when Ying Wu was about to reach Jia Lai Wu burst into laughter. His face was filled with madness. Today my son is dead. Today, the Jia Lai clan's bloodline will be cut off. Today, I will bury you with my son. What? This bastard wants to self-destruct? At this moment, hearing Jia Lai Wu's words, the spiritual energy around him started to become chaotic. Lin Li knew what he was thinking. This had happened in the immortal realm before. Needless to say, the power of a self-detonation was even greater. Although the self-detonation of a mid-stage god king wouldn't kill him, it wouldn't be pleasant either. Moreover, the self-detonation of a god king would bring calamity to everyone in the city. Although Lin Rei didn't think that he was a good person, there were hundreds of thousands of people in the city. If he didn't save them, then, thinking about this, Lin Rei released his spiritual awareness and his cultivation. In a flash, he disappeared and when he reappeared, he was in front of Jia Lai Wu. Humph, you can self-destruct but not here. What? When Jia Lai Wu saw Lin Rei and heard his voice, he was startled. Then, he had a bad premonition. At that moment, Lin Rei stretched out his hand and grabbed Jia Lai Wu's collar. Then, he released his cultivation and disappeared. Husband. At this moment Ying, who was standing in the same place, chased after Linley with a worried look on her face when she knew what was going on. At this moment, 10 kilometers outside of Splendid City, in the previously empty air, Linley's figure suddenly appeared. In his hands was Splendid Crow, and his face was filled with a devilish smile. Hee, didn't you want to self-destruct? As he spoke, Linley mustered up his strength and tossed into the distance. To Linley, who had the body of a mid-stage deity, a casual toss was enough to send him tens of thousands of kilometers away. At that moment, Jia Lai Wu, who had already self-destructed in the city, was thrown away by Lin Rei. His face was filled with madness. Self-destruct could not be stopped once it was started. Therefore, Lin Rei was not worried about Jia Lai Wu's death. Humph. Looks like it's time for Jia Lai City to change hands. Looking at Jia Lai City behind him, Lin Rei smiled. Just as he was about to leave, the space distorted and Ying Wu appeared. Emaming air? Lin Rei, who felt the distortion of space, did not rush to leave. Instead, he stopped and looked at the situation. Who knew that it would be his wife who appeared? Humph, you dare to do such a dangerous thing. You. Ying Wu was so anxious that she started crying. That. Looking at her, Lin Rei felt warmth in his heart. He explained, wife, you see. Although we are not good people, we have an entire city of people. If that person self-destructed, they would not be the only ones injured. You would also be injured. The people in the restaurant would also be injured. I don't want such a thing to happen. But you can't. Hearing her husband's explanation, Ying Wu was still unwilling to forgive him. In the end, she was just too worried about Lin Rei. All right. Just this once. I promise you that it won't happen again. Don't worry. I won't let such a thing happen again. Saying that, Lin Rei took a step forward. Taking advantage of Ying Wu's unpreparedness, he hugged her waist and kissed her on the cheek. Then, he flew towards the city with her. At that moment, Ying no longer had her previous resentment. Her face was flushed red as she nestled in Lin Rei's embrace. She was very cute and lovable. Go. Exterminate all of the Jia Lai family in the city. Since the city lord disregarded the people in the city and self-destructed to avenge his son, there is no need for his family to continue existing. After arriving at the city gate, Lin Rei muttered to himself. Then, he walked into the city. The instant Lin Rei and Ying left, several black-clothed men appeared. They nodded their heads and then rushed towards the city lord's residence in the city. Husband, what are you? At that moment, Ying, who was nestled in Lin Rei's embrace, was confused when she heard her husband's order. Although there was the city lord's matter, it had not reached the point where the family would be implicated. She did not understand her husband's intention. Chapter 620. Let's go. We'll know when we get back. I was in a hurry and forgot that I asked Xiao Yu to look for Xiao Tian. They should be here by now. Hearing her husband's words, Ying nodded. Then, the two of them walked towards the restaurant. They were so fast that they arrived very quickly. At this moment, in the central area of Jia Lai City, the city lord's mansion was heavily guarded. There were 3 layers of guards guarding the entire mansion. At this moment, in the sky above the city lord's mansion, the space distorted. Then, 6 figures appeared in the sky. That's right. This should be the city lord's mansion of Jia Lai City. Let's go and settle this quickly. Let's go. The 6 of them looked at each other. Then, they released their cultivation and instantly descended towards the city lord's mansion below. At this moment, the guards at the entrance of the city lord's mansion suddenly felt a murderous aura. Suddenly, looking towards the direction of the murderous aura, they saw 6 men in black descending from the sky. Suddenly, that guard's pupils constricted. Then he shouted to the surrounding people. Not good. Enemy attack. What? At this moment, after hearing that guard shout, the guards at the entrance were all shocked. Their eyes followed the man's hand and looked towards the sky. Not good. Hurry. Hurry and inform the city lord. However, at this moment, the leader of the guards ordered his companions the moment he saw the black figures. However, before he could finish his sentence, a sharp pain spread from his neck to his entire body. Then his vision turned black. He lost all his strength and fell forward. Kill them. Leave no one alive. At this moment, the 6 men in black had already arrived at the entrance of the city lord's mansion. As for the guards at the entrance, they were all killed on the spot. Look, these people dare to break into the city lord's mansion. They're too bold. TCH. City lord? Why didn't he stand up when he allowed his son to bully us? We don't need such a city lord. That's right. We don't need such a city lord. If I had that kind of ability, I would have done it long ago. At this moment, the passers-by who were passing by the city lord's mansion witnessed with their own eyes the moment the guards of the city lord's mansion were killed. The surrounding people all gathered at the entrance and began to point at the city lord's mansion. They kept complaining about the various discomforts of the city lord's mansion. It could be seen that they really hated the city lord's mansion. In their eyes, there was only hatred. Suddenly, screams came from the city lord's mansion. At this moment, when the passers-by at the door heard the screams, they were very happy. At this moment, there were even people in the crowd who wanted to go up and stab them. Good will be rewarded with good, and evil will be repaid with evil. It's not that there's no retribution, it's just that the time hasn't come yet. God, you finally opened your eyes. Son, look, the person who killed you is now dead. Rest in peace. At this moment, the city lord's mansion was filled with mournful wails. However, outside the city lord's mansion, although there were also people who were sobbing, their faces were relaxed and smiling. Some people even went to buy firecrackers and began to set them off at the entrance of the city lord's mansion. As the saying goes, good news doesn't leave the house. Bad news spreads for 1,000 miles. At this moment, the news of the city lord's mansion being massacred spread like a plague throughout the entire city. At this moment, when Lin Ray and his wife who were walking in front of the restaurant opened their eyes and entered, a piece of news had already arrived. Hey, did you hear? The city lord's mansion was massacred. It's really satisfying. These past few years, they've been getting more and more excessive. Finally, someone has taken care of them. That's right. My daughter should also rest in peace. At this moment, when he heard the words of the passers-by, Lin Ray smiled. His smile was very happy. It seems that I've made a decision. You've actually avenged the entire city? Tisk, that's right. I didn't expect the people in the city lord's mansion to be so vicious. It seems that you've done the right thing, husband. At this moment, Ying, who had also heard the words of the passers-by, said to her husband beside her. Her face was filled with a happy smile. Let's go in. At this moment, the two had already arrived at the entrance of the restaurant. However, just as the two were about to enter the restaurant, 2 figures walked out from inside. Master. Young master. Hearing the voices of the two, Lin Ray released his divine sense and probed ahead. He saw that his eldest disciple Lin Wanyu and Lin Tian had already arrived. You've been waiting for a long time. When he sensed that it was them, Lin Ray scratched his head embarrassedly and then said to them, Let's go. Follow me in. I have something to tell you. Okay, got it. Hearing Lin Ray's words, the two hurriedly went behind him and respectfully stood behind him. The moment they arrived at the restaurant and sat down, Lin Ray slowly said to Lin Tian, Little Tian, I called you here today to tell you something. As he spoke, Lin Ray said to his eldest disciple Lin Wanyu, Little you, go. Go and call your junior brothers and sisters here. I have something to tell you. Yes, master. Hearing this, Lin Wanyu's body instantly disappeared from the restaurant. At this moment, his divine sense probed Lin Tian. Lin Ray spoke again. I called you here to tell you something. Although I don't ask about the Divine Secret Pavilion, I want you to settle the headquarters of the Divine Secret Pavilion here. At this moment, hearing Lin Ray's words, Lin Tian's face was filled with confusion as he asked, Why, young master? There's nothing here. Here, I know. Looking at Lin Tian, Lin Ray hurriedly explained,
I know the problem you're talking about, but the Divine Secret Pavilion does intelligence work. If it's built in a bustling place, someone will find it sooner or later. Moreover, I've already destroyed the City Lord's mansion here, so... At this point, Lin Rei's divine sense saw Lin Tian nod in agreement. He then continued, "This time you'll be the sect master. I'll leave the entire Divine Secret Pavilion to you. As for Han Lei, he's cut out for intelligence work. In the future, he'll be in charge of gathering intelligence." Can I do it? At this moment, Lin Tian hesitated when he heard his young master make him the sect master. His eyes became dazed, and he asked unconfidently, "Humph. Don't say that in the future. Remember, you're my man. You're Lin Rei's brother. So, don't talk about whether you can do it or not. Since I've entrusted such an important task to you, it means that I trust you very much." Seeing how excited Linli was, instantly, the dazed look in Lin Tian's eyes disappeared. Instead, it was replaced by determination and confidence. I understand. Don't worry, young master. I'll do it well." Hearing this, Lin Rei smiled. "That's right. This is the Lin Tian I know." "Master, you called for us?" At this moment, just as Linli and Lintian were smiling at each other, the 6 disciples all arrived. Looking at them, Linli chuckled and said to them, "Let's go." "All right, since you're here, I'll tell you." Saying this, Lin Rei's face was full of seriousness. For a moment, seeing their master like this, they put away their usual mischief and became serious. "Yes, we'll follow master's orders." Haha. Looking at them, Lin Rei smiled satisfactorily, then said, "All right, you've been with me for 1,000 years, or even 2,000 years. In these few years, you've relied on your own efforts to cultivate to where you are now. I'm happy for you." Master, at this moment, hearing Lin Rei's words, everyone lowered their heads. At this moment, their eyes were unknowingly wet. "All right, let's not talk about these emotional words. This time, I called you here to entrust you to your Uncle Xiaotin." "What?" At this moment, hearing their master's words, everyone was shocked. Then they looked at Lin Tian, who was beside them. "That's right, I'm planning to leave this place, and your Uncle Xiaotian has established a sect here according to my instructions. He doesn't even have anyone by his side at the Divine Secret Pavilion, so I've decided to leave you here to help him. Firstly, it's to help the sect, and secondly, it's to let you gain experience here. Of course, after the Divine Secret Pavilion is established and on the right track, if you want to look for me, you can come back at any time." "Yes, I don't have anyone by my side now, so shouldn't you help your Uncle Xiaotian?" At this moment, hearing Lin Rei and Lin Tian's words, the 6 disciples fell silent, and a trace of hesitation floated in their eyes. "I'm willing, I'll stay." At this moment, the first one to stand up was the eldest disciple Lin Wanyu, who was the closest to Lin Tian. With the first there was a second and then a third. In the end, all 6 of them agreed. "Master, don't worry. We'll definitely help Uncle Xiaotian complete the establishment of the sect." Good. It's good to hear your words. Since that's the case, it's decided." Looking at his disciples, to be honest, he was somewhat reluctant to part with them. However, sooner or later, the young eagles would break away from the eagle, and at their age, they were no longer young eagles, and it was time for them to learn to be independent people. Whoosh! A sound was heard. "Young master, we've already destroyed the entire City Lord's mansion, leaving no one alive." At this moment, the 6 of them instantly appeared in front of Lin Rei, bowing their heads and speaking to Lin Rei. It's been hard on you. Since you're here, I'll tell you that you don't have to follow me in the future. From now on, you'll follow Lin Tian and protect him. Do you hear me?" "Yes, we'll obey." Hearing Lin Rei's order, the 6 of them quickly bowed to Lin Tian, and then disappeared, hiding in the sky again. Seeing that the matter had been settled, Lin Rei smiled relaxedly. Then he said to Lin Tian, "All right, this matter is over. As for the contact spell, I'll give it to you when we leave." After saying that, Lin Li asked everyone to sit down, and they began to chat about Tian. Everything they talked about was daily life. Time passed little by little, and in the blink of an eye, 5 days had passed. In these few days, Lin Rei accompanied his 6 disciples, and taught them some of his cultivation experience, as well as the cultivation method of the martial god, so that they would have the ability to protect themselves in the future. Chapter 621. Not only that, but during these past few days, in order to ensure the safety of Splendid City, as well as to ensure its secrecy, Linley had set up 5 Exalt-level formations here. They were the east, south, west, north, and central formations of the 5 elements, covering the entire Splendid City. As for the method to activate the formations, Lin Rei passed it to Lin Tian. After all, he would be the master of the Divine Secret Pavilion in the future. In these few days, Lin Rei beat around the bush, extorting and blackmailing. In the end, he got a set of top-grade divine tools from the system, called the Yin-Yang Reversal. The literal meaning was that there was a house above and a house below. However, only those who were familiar with the method could open the passageway and enter the underground house. If they tried to force their way in, they would only be able to activate the array within and be killed. When he asked for this divine tool, Lin Rei spent a lot of effort to get it from the system. He also spent a lot of money to get it. As for the promised method of communication, on the 3rd day, Xuefeng researched it and passed it to Lin Tian. Everything was settled. On the morning of the 6th day, when the first ray of sunlight rose, Lin Rei withdrew from his cultivation. Phew! Feeling the freshness of the morning, Lin Rei let out a long breath of turbid air. His face was full of smiles. Hee. I'm leaving today. I wonder if those little brats will cry? You! At this moment, while Lin Rei was fantasizing, a woman's voice came from the side. The moment he heard this voice, Lin Rei's smile became even wider. Hee, what's wrong, Ying-er? Am I wrong? In any case, I am their master. As the saying goes, a teacher for a day is a father for life. Aren't they sad when they are leaving? After saying this, Lin Rei stood up from the bed and took a step forward. His figure instantly disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already at the door. Teske, you're so full of yourself. Do you think everyone has nothing to do like you? Looking at her husband, Ying, who was standing behind him, rolled her eyes and said, Your good disciples have been sent out by little Tian to collect orphans, so they won't send you. What? Hearing this, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. Before he left, he had wanted to show off for a while, but now it seemed that he couldn't do it. Thinking of this, Lin Rei was speechless. Although the Heavenly Mysteries Pavilion had just been established, there was no need to be in such a hurry. In any case, he was leaving today, and he didn't know. Thinking of this, Lin Rei couldn't help but feel helpless. But there was nothing he could do about it. He knew that time and tide waited for no man. He needed to nurture his disciples as soon as possible and then spread out his information network. Only then would the Divination Pavilion be truly established. Sigh, all right. Looks like we'll go light this time. As for the ancient race, Lin Rei sighed. When he mentioned the ancient race, he fell silent. Ancient race? Husband, how do you plan to deal with them? Looking at her husband's expression, she knew that he had been feeling uneasy ever since Hong Xian appeared. After all, she looked too much like the deceased Jin Ling. Let the ancient race stay here. This place is far away from all the major cities. Even if there's a war in the future, it won't affect this place. As for Grandpa, let's not say anything. We'll release the ancient race later and hand them over to little Tian. After that, we'll leave. Of the 36 stratagems, leaving is the best strategy. Ugh, hearing this, Ying's heart immediately ached for Lin Tian. When he thought of the scene of Gu Wen going crazy after finding out about this, Ying felt a chill run down his spine. Hee, let's go. After saying that, Lin Rei chuckled and said to Ying before leaving. With a single step, he appeared 10 meters away. Without saying anything, Lin Rei disappeared into the house behind. Sigh. I'm really busy. I hope the son-in-law won't go crazy when the time comes. Thinking of this, Ying seemed to have thought of something terrible. Her body trembled and she chased after Lin Rei. However, it had to be said that the two were indeed husband and wife. The way they left was the same. However, Ying's way of leaving was more domineering than Lin Rei's. She teleported in front of Lin Rei. At this moment, Lin Rei, who had arrived at the restaurant, looked at the restaurant that was full of people and frowned. All right, don't be angry. Isn't it just that there's no place? Why don't you bear with it for a while? We've been eating this for the past few days and I'm tired of it. Why don't we roast a demon beast outside after we leave? At this moment, Ing teleported to Lin Rei's side. Seeing the frown on his face, she quickly told him her idea. Sure enough, after Lin Rei heard his wife's words, his frown immediately disappeared. He smiled and said, "It's nothing. Since that's the case, let's go." As he spoke, Linley stretched out his hand to grab hold of Shadow's hand, then walked outside. At the same time, he spread out his divine sense. He found the young man, Xueqi, and the others. He transmitted a message to them. "Come out quickly. We're leaving." "What? Now? Why are you in such a hurry?" At this moment, Xueqi, who was still sleeping in her room, was dissatisfied when she heard the news. However, the young man was the opposite. After hearing Lin Rei's words, he replied excitedly, "Okay, Brother Lei. We'll be there soon." Hearing Xueqing's message, Lin Rei was dissatisfied. His voice suddenly became cold. "Tisk, leave if you want. Anyway, I'm leaving. Since you don't want to leave, then stay here." Lin Rei was dissatisfied. "Oh, by the way, teleport out. Don't disturb Xueqi and Grandpa Gu." At the last moment, Lin Rei could not help but warn the others. "Tisk. Okay, got it, Brother Lei." Their recovery was completely different. For a moment, Lin Rei felt a headache coming on. He quickly recovered and withdrew his divine sense. "Let's go to Little Tion's place." Okay. Hearing her husband's words, Shadow unleashed her power, bringing Linley with her. With a single teleport, the two of them arrived at a newly opened restaurant in the western part of the city. "Young master?" Just as Lin Rei and Ing arrived and stood at the entrance of the restaurant, an excited voice came from inside. Then, Lin Tian rushed out and said excitedly to Lin Rei, "Young master, I'm going to leave. I came here to tell you that I'm leaving and to arrange a mission for you." Looking at Lin Tian, Linley said with some reluctance. Ever since he started training, Linley had basically never been separated from Lin Tian. Of course, other than when they had to be separated. "Young master, please instruct me. Little Tian will definitely do it well and not disappoint you." As he spoke, suddenly, a figure appeared. Linley's divine sense scanned the person who had appeared, and Linley chuckled. He then instructed Lin Tian, who was standing in front of him. "This time, I won't bring the ancient race with me. In a while, I'll leave the ancient race to you. As for the arrangements, I'll leave them to you." "Ah? Young master, you." Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lin Tian's face instantly turned bitter. He said hesitantly, "Young master, if you leave like this and Senior Gu asks about it, All right, it's because it's difficult that I'm letting you handle it. As for grandfather's side, you can do as you see fit. As for that Xueqi, although she's grandfather's granddaughter now, her background isn't simple. You must be on your guard, understand?" Hearing his young master's concern, Lin Tian smiled bitterly and stood rooted to the ground. Then, he nodded and agreed to this matter. Looking at Lin Tian's appearance, Lin Rei said with reluctance and worry, "Remember, when I'm not by your side, learn to be smart. It's always good to be careful. Also, cultivate more in the future and don't fall behind in your cultivation. I don't want you to be absent when I break through." "Yes, I understand, young master. Don't worry, I will definitely keep up with your footsteps." At this moment, Xueqi, who was standing at the back, saw the two of them dilly-dallying and scolded, "That's enough. Are you done yet? You're acting like a sissy." When she said this, the surroundings were silent and everyone's eyes were fixed on her. Xueqi felt a little embarrassed to be stared at by so many people. She turned around and ignored all the gazes on her. Looking at Xueqi, Lin Rei knew that if a man was long-winded, she would probably flip out. Then, he looked at Lin Tian and nodded, "Let's go." After saying that, Lin Rei led Ing and the others out of the city gate. However, just as Lin Rei was about to leave, hundreds of people appeared out of thin air. Every one of them had a confused look on their faces and they were dressed differently from the people of the celestial world. Other than beast skins, they had nothing else on them. Ck. Lin Tian, who was at the entrance of the restaurant, wanted to watch Lin Rei leave. But at this moment, a group of people suddenly appeared. He was helpless. Seeing how they were curiously looking at the surrounding buildings and the clothes they were wearing, everyone's faces were filled with smiles. Haha, celestial world. We're out. We're in the celestial world. Yes, the celestial world, we're finally here. Yes, the celestial world. Our ancestors used to live here. Hearing the words of the crowd, Lin Tian smiled helplessly and shook his head. He then turned to the hundreds of people who were dressed in formal attire and said, "All of you ancient race tribesmen, come with me. I'll give you a place to stay." At this moment, the hundreds of ancient race people were admiring the novelty of the surroundings. When they heard Lin Tian's voice, all of their gazes were fixed on him. You're Lin Tian, the one who bought the ancient race's residence back then, right? At that moment, a young man standing at the front of the group saw Lin Tian. He asked with a smile on his face. "Haha, that's right. Let's go. I'll bring you to your accommodation." Chapter 622. With that, Lin Tian led the entire ancient race tribesmen towards the center of the city. There were hundreds of them. Along the way, it was as though they were parading through the streets. When everyone caught sight of such a long procession, they all came out to take a look. This news spread like wildfire in the city. How could Gu Wen, who was still in the restaurant, not have heard of it? This lad, to think that. At this moment Gu Wen, who was in the living quarters behind the restaurant, found out that everyone from the ancient race was in Splendid City. However, the moment he received this news, he released his consciousness to check every single place in the city, including digging 3 feet into the ground. However, he just couldn't find Lin Rei and his companions. At this point, he knew that Lin Rei had already left the ancient race behind. Regarding this news, Gu Wen was infuriated and furious. "Grandpa, why did Lin Rei leave alone? Didn't you guys agree to leave together? Why now?" At this moment, Hong Xian, who was standing by the side, had learned a lot in the past few days. She knew that she would be leaving with Lin Rei. Initially, she was pretty happy. But now something like this had happened. Hearing Hong Xian's words, Gu Wen turned around and looked at Hong Xian, who looked exactly like his granddaughter. Gu Wen sighed and spoke the words in his heart. "You might not know this, but I used to have a granddaughter named Jean Ling. Due to various reasons, Lin Rei fought with the companion of a spirit herb. In the end, his memories were sealed. In the end, it was the place where I lived. It was also at that time that my granddaughter fell in love with Lin Rei, who had lost his memories. Just like that, looking at Hong Xian, Gu Wen gradually opened up his heart and spoke all the words in his heart. He spoke about the entire process of Lin Rei meeting Jean Ling in its entirety. Just like that. Just some time ago, I accidentally bumped into this grandson-in-law of mine. But at that time, I brought news that my granddaughter had died and had risen to the immortal world. At that time, I was still the head of the ancient race who guarded the entrance to the ghost world. Bit by bit, he told Hong Xian everything about Jean Ling from Lin Rei. At this moment, after Hong Xian heard these things, the coldness in her eyes gradually melted and finally disappeared. "Alas, it's probably because you look too much like my granddaughter, and I recognize you as my granddaughter. Perhaps that's the reason, alas." After saying that, Gu Wen sighed. His eyes were filled with desolation as he turned around and prepared to return to his room. "Excuse me, are you called Gu Wen?" Right at this moment, just as Gu Wen was about to enter the room, suddenly, a voice called out to him from behind. Instantly, Gu Wen turned around. When he saw that the person who called him was the waiter of the restaurant, Gu Wen was puzzled. "I am. Why are you looking for me?" "Ah, you are. Sometimes, young Master Lin would leave a jade token here for you and ask me to give it to you. You naturally understand?" Hearing the waiter's words, Gu Wen frowned slightly, and a trace of surprise appeared in his eyes. "Then come." "Okay, here you are." Hearing Gu Wen's words, the waiter hurriedly stepped forward and handed the jade token to Gu Wen. Go ahead." After receiving the jade token, Gu Wen waved his hand and dismissed the waiter. Then, he lowered his head and looked at the jade token in his hand. The moment he was in trouble, he knew that it was used to record images. After glancing at Hong Xian, Gu Guwen hurriedly injected spiritual energy into the jade token. Then, a figure instantly appeared in front of the two of them. The person who appeared was naturally Lin Rei. Grandfather, forgive me for leaving without saying goodbye. The reason why I didn't let you come with me is because you are Ling Er's family, and the Gu clan is Ling Er's family. Therefore, I don't want and am not willing to let any harm come to you. At this moment, Lin Rei's voice rang out. Suddenly, hearing Lin Rei's words, Gu Wen's face was filled with guilt. Just a moment ago, he was still speculating in his heart. Along the way, other than killing people, I have only killed people. In my world, becoming a superior is to protect my family. On the road to becoming an expert, there are bound to be piles of bones, mountains of corpses, and seas of blood. Needless to say, there are karma. But even so, I want to be a superior. This is the only way I can survive and protect the people I want to protect. What I want to do the most now is to destroy the Xueqi sect. Although I know that they did not participate in the incident in the immortal world, it was a mistake for them to establish their sect in the immortal world. If not for them, my wife and child would not have died. Therefore, I have to take revenge. However, I don't want the Gu clan to interfere in this matter. And I don't want anyone from the Gu clan to be hurt. Therefore, I had no choice but to leave. Please don't blame me. This child. At this moment, when he heard the reason Lin Rei left, tears flowed from his eyes uncontrollably. Guilt was reflected on his face. Oh, that's right. I forgot to tell you. Actually, I'm happy for your granddaughter, Hong Xian. Although this person said that he was from the god race, I didn't completely trust him. Originally, I had the thought of erasing him. But since this is your decision, I will respect it. She is from the god clan. Although her cultivation is crippled now, she will be able to return to her peak with cultivation. Since your grandson can't be by your side, then let her be by your side. TSK, you think you are smart. At this moment, after hearing Lin Rei's words, Hong Xian's heart was filled with killing intent. He could feel the killing intent deep in his heart. There's a cultivation technique in the jade slip, although it's not a good one. Although it is not good, it can allow her to recover her cultivation quickly. I believe he will be able to use it. Alright, that's all. Finally, I want to remind you, Hong Xian, this cultivation method is restricted to you alone. If I find out that you taught it to others, not to mention you, even the Hong family of the God clan will not let me off. I won't let him off either. I'll definitely implicate him. As soon as he said this, Lin Rei, who was now in the air, began to become illusory. 5 minutes. 5 minutes later, Lin Rei's figure completely disappeared. Little Lei, Grandpa has wronged you. I thought it was because of you. I thought it was because of little Exon. At this moment, Guwen was crying so hard that he could not speak. He did not expect that he would become so suspicious one day. And now Hong Xian, who was at the side, was very emotional and envious. However, thinking of the cultivation method that Lin Rei had mentioned just now, Hong Xian quickly took the jade slip and began to check it. Moon Shadow Formula, God-level cultivation method, uses the essence of the moon to improve cultivation, uses the power of the stars to forge several bodies, a total of, hiss. At this moment, Hong Xian's eyes widened. Her eyes widened and were filled with disbelief and astonishment. She was shocked. The more she read, the more astonished she was. This cultivation method is so powerful. Even my Hong family's heaven technique cannot compare to it. This Lin Rei exactly who is he? Looking at the cultivation method that Lin Rei had left behind in the jade slip, Hong Xian hesitated for a moment. Not to mention the God realm, even the God clan did not possess such a mystical cultivation method. Yet, a mortal who had climbed up step by step from the lower realm actually possessed such a powerful cultivation method and actually gave it away. This, however, although she thought this way, she was certain that she was going to cultivate this cultivation method the moment she saw it. At this moment, 10,000 miles away from Splendid City, Lin Rei, who was flying, revealed a smile on his face. He muttered, "Haha, looks like Grandpa Gu has already opened the jade slip. Since that's the case, then the moon shadow formula will naturally appear." Before he left, he gave his image in the jade slip to the waiter and set up a formation on it. Apart from people at the level of supreme gods, If anyone dared to forcefully open it, the formation would automatically activate and kill the person who forcefully opened the jade slip within the formation. Even god emperors would not be spared. At the same time, after doing all this, Lin Rei left a strand of his consciousness on the jade slip. As long as the jade slip was opened, he would be able to sense it. Hence, the moment Gu Wen opened the jade slip, he knew. Husband. Why did you leave a jade slip behind? Why didn't I know about it? At this moment, Shadow, who had been following beside him, hearing her husband's muttering, she immediately asked him in confusion. That just as we were leaving. I gave it to the waiter and left. Although I couldn't say goodbye in person, but you don't have to explain. I know all about it. It's just that I didn't know you left behind a message. Furthermore, coincidentally, I also left behind a copy to tell Grandpa that we were leaving. Hearing this, Lin Rei smiled. He did not expect his wife to have the same thoughts as him. All right, let's hurry up. Since you've told them, we'll meet again if fate wills it. With that, Lin Rei sped up again and rushed toward the north. This time, he had already thought of his goal. The ninth continent, the most mysterious ninth province, had already been decided when he came to the god realm. At this moment, in the inn, Gu Wen was still in low spirits. Suddenly, another waiter walked over from afar and said the same thing. Mr. Gu Wen, this is a woman called Shadow. She gave it to me before they left and asked me to give it to you. Shadow. At this moment, Gu Wen, who was in low spirits, revealed a trace of doubt the moment he heard this sentence. Then, he took the jade slip and inserted his spiritual chi. Just like before, Shadow's figure rushed out of the jade slip. Shadow's figure stood in the air and said apologetically, Grandpa, please forgive us for leaving without saying goodbye. Husband still has things to do. This time, it's our fault as juniors. The next time we come, we'll definitely apologize to you. Please don't take offense. As for Miss Hong Xian, please take good care of Grandpa. Once again, Shadow thanks you. I'll definitely thank you more when we meet in the future. With that, Shadow, who was standing in the air, gradually disappeared at this moment. Chapter 623. Looking at the two letters, Hong Xian and Gu Wen sighed. Their previous suspicions and jealousy had turned into nothingness at this moment. Alas, I'm old and useless. In the future, the world will belong to you young people. Gu Wen returned to his senses and wiped away the tears on his face. He then entered his room and didn't come out again. Haha, Lin Rei, I hope to meet you again in the future. At that time, I must find out what secrets you have that allowed you to reach this step. At this moment, Hong Xian was filled with curiosity about Lin Rei. She was looking forward to meeting him again. However, before that, I should first learn the cultivation method and recover my cultivation. The God Realm is not like the God Realm. There are many terrifying existences here. I must have the ability to protect myself. Otherwise, as she spoke, Hong Xian thought of the slave trader who had captured her and whipped her non-stop. Thinking of this, Hong Xian couldn't help but shiver. Such a thing didn't exist in the God Realm. Thinking of this, Hong Xian stood up from the ground. Then she faced Gu Wen's room and said respectfully with a sincere expression, Grandfather, I'm going to cultivate first. If you need anything, call me at any time. Go cultivate well. Gu Wen's powerless voice sounded from the room. Hearing this, Hong Xian was stunned. Then, she came back to her senses and bowed deeply to Gu Wen's room before leaving. In the Heavenly Dragon Mountain Range in the northern Wu state. At this moment, the Heavenly Dragon Mountain Range could be said to be a boiling cauldron of voices. In the past, this place was very desolate. There was no living person at all except for demon beasts. At this moment, above the Heavenly Dragon Mountain Range, there were many palaces standing at the top of the mountain or at the mountainside. The scenery was spectacular, especially built in the lush mountain scenery. The entire place was like a paradise on earth. However, although the Heavenly Dragon Mountain looked calm on the surface, it was actually surging with undercurrents. Sect Master, we have already settled here for so long. The sect is basically on the right track. Some of the disciples in the sect have entered the late divine weapon realm and some have even entered the early divine guard realm. The sect is doing well. I don't know what to do next. At this moment, in the highest palace of the Sky Dragon Mountain range, a group of people stood in the palace and reported to a young man sitting at the top. That's right. Patriarch. Besides, this place itself is a sacred place for cultivation. As long as you step out of the mountain gate, you will be able to see demonic beasts roaming about. Not only that, this place is rich in natural resources. Just by casually walking around, you will be able to see a 10,000-year-old Lingji. Compared to other 10,000-year-old spiritual medicines, this place is simply too good. At that moment, one of the middle-aged men became more and more excited as he spoke. He even had a smile on his face the entire time. You're right. This place is not bad. However, our cultivation is still lacking. You should know that the divine world is not lacking in divine weapons and divine guards. With our current strength, I'm afraid that we can't even compare to the third-rate sects in the divine world. A few days ago, I discovered some people spying on the heavenly Dragon Mountain as though they were spying on us. However, we were in a hurry at that time, so we didn't pay much attention to them. Hearing this, the young man sitting at the top narrowed his eyes and his face turned gloomy. This person was none other than Lin Yun, who had come to the heavenly Dragon Mountain to establish a sect. Ever since he had the help of Sakura, he had quickly established a sect here. Previously, there were rumors that the Dragon Clan had appeared here. However, when they arrived, they discovered that there were no Dragon Clan at all. This place was actually a natural array that was both offensive and defensive. Seeing this, Lin Yun was especially excited. He immediately released the palace that Lin Rei had left behind in the lower realm. Instantly, the entire Xuanzong Sect's palace appeared and suppressed the mountain range. The palace was also an array. With the suppression of the palace's array, the original natural array instantly became a part of the palace. Just like this, the heavenly Dragon Mountain became the location of the Xuanzong Sect. It was the same method used to establish a sect in the divine world. Send someone to deal with those people later. This time, we can't let the tragedy of the divine world repeat itself. At this moment, when the people standing below heard Lin Rei's words, their bodies trembled. They couldn't help but think about the war in the divine world and the scene of tens of thousands of people dying. If it weren't for Lin Rei sending people back, the Xuanzong Sect might not exist anymore and there wouldn't be the Xuanzong Sect today. Every time they thought about that scene, they couldn't help but tremble in fear. Cold sweat involuntarily formed on their bodies. But Sect Master, we are still too weak. If we really kill them, it's inevitable that those sects will. At this moment, when Gu Si, who was standing below, heard Lin Yun's order, her expression changed. She immediately reacted. Don't say any more. This matter is settled. Back then, it was precisely because of a moment of carelessness that the tens of thousands of disciples of my profound sect, as well as my brother, all died. This time around, I will not allow that tragedy to repeat itself. Lin Yun didn't react to Gu Si's objection. He then said to Bai Qi, who was beside him, Uncle Bai, I'll leave this matter to you. Get the dark group to eliminate the people outside who are probing. I'll go right away. At this moment, Bai Qi, who was standing next to Lin Yun, heard Lin Yun's words and immediately walked out with a smile. However, at this moment, Jian Wei, who was standing next to him, was unwilling to go. No, Sect Master, how about I go with Bai Qi? I've been here for a long time and I haven't gone out. Jian Wei said with an aggrieved look. Immediately, when everyone saw Jian Wei's expression at this moment, they all shook their heads helplessly. Okay. Looking at Jian Wei below, Lin Yun was also full of helplessness. He couldn't do anything about Jian Wei. After all, he was an elder who had followed Lin Rei to establish the sect, so he could only agree in the end. Oh yeah, that's great. Seeing Lin Yun's agreement, Jian Wei's smile became even brighter. Then, he chased after Bai Qi, who was walking outside. With one step, Jian Wei appeared next to Bai Qi in an instant. Then, he hooked his arm around Bai Qi's shoulder and walked outside as if they were brothers. Haha, seeing Jian Wei's action, Lin Yun was very helpless, but he didn't say anything. Then he said to the people below, Uncles, let's call it a day. Follow the plan that we made before. As for those who come to cause trouble, don't be merciful. Just kill them. Okay, got it. Hearing Lin Yun's words, everyone nodded and then walked outside. A few minutes later, Lin Yun was the only one left in the palace. His face was full of loneliness and desolation. Alas, father, where are you? I miss you so much. Ha! At the junction of the north and the south, a group of 4 people was flying in the air toward the north. What's going on? Why do I feel a little uncomfortable? At this moment, a silver-haired young man among the 4 people had a strange look in his eyes. At this moment, a woman beside him looked at her husband and asked worriedly, "What's the matter, husband? What's the matter?" The woman's words immediately attracted the attention of the other man and woman. Then, they looked at the white-haired man in confusion. The white-haired young man was Lin Rei, who had left Splendid City. After several days of non-stop travel, he finally arrived at the junction of the south and the north. Next to him were naturally Ying, Xiefeng, and the other 3 people. It's nothing. It's just that a moment ago, I suddenly felt uncomfortable. I don't know why. Maybe I've been too tired these days. It's fine. It'll be over soon. Looking at his wife and friends who were worried about him, Lin Li immediately gave them a reassuring smile and sped up in order not to let them worry. Husband, why don't we take a rest in the city up ahead before we continue? Besides, we haven't rested for several days. At this moment, Ying, who had a concerned look on her face, saw the city in front of them and hurriedly said to her husband, Xiefeng, and the other man beside her, "That's right, kid. We've been flying for so long, so it's time to take a look. Also, didn't you say that you'll let me fly as much as I want? Standing here is an opportunity." Looking at the concerned looks on their faces, Lin Rei felt a warmth in his heart. At the same time, he regretted what he had said. He had originally planned to fly directly to the entrance of the 9th continent, but looking at them, it seemed that he could not do so now. Raising his head, Lin Rei used his divine sense to investigate the area in front of him. A majestic city sat there, and the 3 words Heavenly Might City appeared in his mind. Looking at the city in front of him, Lin Rei sighed and nodded. All right, let's go to the city up ahead and take a look. Moreover, the city up ahead seems to be very ancient. It even makes me feel a trace of pressure. Haha, then let's hurry up and go. At this moment, after hearing Lin Rei's words, Xiefeng, who had a happy smile on her face, sped up. Her body flashed, and she disappeared on the spot. When she reappeared, Xiefeng had already arrived at the gate of Heavenly Might City. Seeing how anxious Xiefeng was, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly. Then, just like Xiefeng, his body flashed, and the 3 of them disappeared on the spot. When they reappeared, they were already beside Xiefeng. You, don't be so reckless, okay? We're just here to rest. I don't want to cause trouble here. Lin Rei, who came to Xiefeng's side, looked at her for a while, then walked forward. Teske, you speak as if you don't cause trouble. I don't know who annihilated the city lord and his entire family, and now you're telling me not to cause trouble in front of me? You're not joking, right? As soon as she said that, Lin Rei blushed and felt embarrassed. In order to ease the awkward atmosphere, Lin Rei pulled in and quickened their pace toward the city. Haha. When the young man who had been following behind saw this scene, he revealed a smile. When they arrived at the city gate, they lifted their heads and looked at the towering city. A simple and unadorned aura blew against their faces. Heavenly Might City? Looking at the 3 words Heavenly Might City on the city wall, Lin Rei's heart was filled with amusement. Then he led the group into the city. Taoist Shen Guang, long time no see. How have you been for the past 10,000 years? At this moment, just as Lin Rei was about to enter the city, a voice sounded and instantly attracted Lin Rei's attention. Did you notice? Although that person is only in the Monarch God realm, his true strength is in the late-stage Ultimate God realm. Chapter 624. Yes, I've noticed. Lin Rei nodded when he heard the system's sudden telepathic message. He then said, although he used to be a godly venerable, however, he's only a godly venerable cultivator now. With that, Lin Rei continued to lead the group into the city. However, He did not exit the conversation with the system. Tisk, can you do it? He's a godly venerable. With your help, he might be able to become a saint. You'll have a great help when you fight against Haotian. Moreover, it's just a piece of cake for you. You'll lose out in this matter. Moreover, one is a future saint, your subordinate, and the other is a pile of dirt that will die of old age. These two choices only depend on your decision. Tell me this. Listening to the system's analysis, Linley fell into deep thought. Although he had thought about what the system had said, when he thought about how he didn't even know this person, he was afraid that it would be inappropriate to approach him rashly. Moreover, who knew if this person was a good person? What if he was a heinous devil? In conclusion, it was not the right time to think about it. Wasn't there a saying that went well? If fate brought them together, they would meet even if they were thousands of miles apart. If fate brought them together, they would naturally meet again. Forget it, I don't want to save him now. I'll think about it later. With that, Lin Ray shook his head and then walked into the city without hesitation. The city was bustling with life, and there was an endless stream of horses and carriages. It was a completely different scene compared to Glory City. Moreover, when the two cities were compared, Glory City was like a mouse while this place was like a lion. The two were not on the same level. Right now, Linley was beginning to regret setting up the Divine's Pavilion in Splendid City. He didn't know if his brain had gone haywire or something, but he had actually set up the Divine's Pavilion in that godforsaken place. Sigh. Forget it. Let's take a rest and continue our journey. With that thought, Lin Ray said to the group, let's go. Let's find a place to stay, eat something, and take a rest. Let's continue our journey. What? At this moment, as soon as Lin Ray said those words, Xiefeng immediately woke up from her questioning. No. I say, Lin Ray, didn't you promise me that you would have plenty of time to let me walk around? What's the situation now? You're going back on your word, aren't you? Seeing that Xiefeng seemed to have some business, Lin Ray was dumbfounded. At this moment, he really wanted to slap himself for making that promise. Sigh. Why did you make such a promise in the first place? Aren't you just digging your own grave? The more Lin Ray thought about it, the more his head hurt. If he could turn back time, he would rather fight with the Divine Master for 3 days and 3 nights than make such a promise. Husband, why don't we stay here for a few days? Look at how lively it is here. Maybe there's something fun to do? Seeing that his wife was acting like Xiefeng, Lin Ray was completely speechless. However, looking at the group's posture, it seemed that they did not intend to leave. Suddenly, Lin Ray knew that he was destined to stay here for a few days. Then, looking at the group's expectant faces, Lin Ray shook his head helplessly and said, all right. However, I can only stay here for 5 days. 5 days at most. After all, there are still many things waiting for me to do. After listening for a while, he did not hear their voices. Then, Lin Ray extended his divine senses and suddenly froze on the spot. At this moment, his divine sense couldn't find any traces of them. Seeing this, Linley couldn't help but laugh bitterly. Oh my God, how can they do this? I'm a blind person. Didn't they say that they would help me? A bunch of heartless people. However, although he complained, he still extended his divine senses and used them as his eyes to walk forward. Along the way, everyone saw that Linley's hair was white and that he was blind. Most of the people looked at him with disdain. Of course, there were also good and bad things. There was also a small group of people who looked at him with pity. Lin Ray naturally did not care about the various gazes around him. If he really cared that much, he was afraid that everyone in the city would have been killed at this moment. Along the way, there were all kinds of people selling food, elixirs, magic tools, elixirs, and even talismans. There were all kinds of miscellaneous things. Haha, it's really lively here. However, it seems to be a little too lively. Looking at the people around him, although all of them seemed to be setting up stalls to buy things, the spirit chi in their bodies could not be hidden from Lin Ray. Most of the people here were cultivators, and for such a large number of cultivators, although there were also cultivators in such a large city, Lin Ray felt that there must be something fishy about this. Moreover, when he thought of the supreme god expert who had dropped his realm at the door, for a moment, Lin Ray was a little interested in this place. Haha, interesting. With a smile, Lin Rei looked at the signs on both sides of the street. Not long after, a restaurant called Ju Yuan appeared in his divine senses. Ju Yuan? That's a good name. So here we are. He muttered to himself as he strode into the restaurant. Young master, are you eating or staying? I won't brag to you, but our Ju Yuan restaurant is the best restaurant in the entire Tianwei city. Just as Lin Rei entered the Ju Yuan restaurant, a waiter came up to him and explained. Hearing his words, Lin Rei's mood improved a lot. I'll stay and eat. Okay. Follow me first, I'll bring you to your seat. Hearing Lin Rei's words, his face was full of smiles as he came to Lin Rei's side. He reached out and placed his hand on his arm, leading the way. Regarding this, Lin Rei felt as if he was really blind. However, he did not stop the waiter's actions. Soon, they came to a place next to a window. Regarding this, Lin Rei was very satisfied, and then said to him, Waiter brother, help me get 3 rooms later, and also some food and wine. Bring your best wine immediately, and the rooms also have to be the best. Okay, then what do you want to eat? We have. Looking at Lin Rei, the waiter asked with a smile on his face. Anything. Any of your signature dishes will do, and the wine must be the best. And then I'll see what I can do for you? Looking at Lin Rei, the waiter asked. All right, go ahead. After waving his hand to dismiss him, Lin Rei waited quietly. At this moment, he did not use his divine sense, and just stood in the darkness. Phew, Lin Rei, who was waiting, let out a long sigh and became silent. He just listened to the noise around him, eating, chatting, and talking about all kinds of things. Haha, when will I be able to sit down quietly and talk with my family after a meal? Ever since he became a cultivator, he had always been in a hurry, chasing after time, and he had never stopped. In his life, time was always there, and he had always been in a race against time. Because of the existence of the system's mission, he had to hurry, or else he would slack off. Then, his little life would be lost here. And knowing this, he naturally could not slack off, not for a moment. Even though he was working hard to cultivate for Red Lotus in the mysterious Sky Continent, or to leave there, or to fight for the Sect in the Immortal Realm, or to work hard to revive his wife after her death, he was always in a race against time. The more he thought about it, the more he had a headache. Then, he shook his head and threw all these things to the back of his mind. At this moment, he only wanted to eat, drink, and drink. Although he had already abstained from eating, and it would not be a problem even if he did not eat or drink for millions of years, he was still quite passionate about eating. Bam! Just as Linley was deep in thought, a strange sound suddenly rang out, instantly pulling him out of his thoughts and back to reality. Young master, this is the wine you ordered. This is called Heaven Drunk, and it is made with drunken berries and some precious elixirs. The production is not good, but it is very delicious. Try it first, and I will hurry up the dishes for you. Okay. Hearing the waiter's words, Lin Rei nodded, and then reached out his hand to search the table for a while, and finally found the wine. Then, he grabbed the wine and took a sip. His pupils were suddenly startled, and his eyes were filled with a trace of surprise. Hiss! This wine is not bad. It is even better than all the wine I have drunk before. Although it is a bit spicy when I drink it, after the wine spreads in the stomach, it is full of fruit. Not bad at all. If there was one thing that he had gained the most from this place, it would definitely be the wine in his hand. Haha, Heaven Drunk. Not bad. As he spoke, Lin Rei took another sip. This time, he did not drink it like before, but rather, he drank it bit by bit, savoring the taste. Bit by bit, he drank very leisurely. However, at this moment, a voice suddenly interrupted his mood. Little brother, I am sorry. This restaurant has no seats, but there is an empty seat here. I wonder if it is possible for the two of us to sit down and have a meal? The sudden voice caught Lin Rei off guard, but in the end, Lin Rei nodded. As the saying goes, making things convenient for others means making things convenient for oneself. Have a seat, I am here, and I am alone. As he spoke, Lin Rei did not intend to pay attention to them. Then, he picked up the wine again and was about to drink when he suddenly realized that there was no more wine in the bottle. Suddenly, Lin Rei frowned and called out to the waiter. Young master, what is the matter? Your dishes are not ready yet. Please. Hearing the waiter's explanation, Lin Rei hurriedly interrupted and said, Nothing, I called you here for nothing else. I just wanted to say, bring some more of this. Chapter 625. As he spoke, Linley pointed at the wine bottle in front of him. This. Upon seeing the bottle of wine Linley was pointing at, the waiter's face revealed an awkward look. He stammered and couldn't say anything. What's wrong? Are you afraid I can't pay for your wine? Hearing the waiter's hesitation, Lin Rei's expression turned ugly. No, young master, it's just... Seeing the gloomy expression of the person in front of him, the waiter was scared and hurriedly explained. It's like this, we don't have much heaven drunk, and there isn't much left in the back. Do you think... Can you change it to some other wine? Change. Hearing the waiter's words at this moment, Lin Rei was unhappy. If there wasn't, it wouldn't be a big deal to change the wine. But now that there was and he didn't take it out, Lin Rei showed a trace of displeasure in his heart. Today, I want to drink your heaven drunk. Quickly take it out. I won't pursue it. Perhaps because Lin Rei's tone was too unyielding, the waiter's expression turned gloomy. Then, he said to Lin Rei with a mocking tone, Tisage, a blind person dares to pretend to be a young master here. Do you really think you're a young master? At this moment, the waiter completely lost the good face he had when he came in to greet him. Using his divine sense, he saw the disdain and ridicule on the waiter's face. For a moment, Lin Rei shook his head and sighed. Haha, I thought this was a pretty good place. I didn't expect. As he spoke, Lin Rei's expression became even gloomier. If it wasn't for the fact that he didn't want to cause trouble, he was afraid that the person in front of him right now wouldn't be a person who looked down on him and ridiculed him, but a cold corpse. Tisage, glancing at Lin Rei, the waiter turned and walked to the bar at the door. It looked like he didn't plan to take the wine. Hee, little brother. Why don't you go to the bar we brought? Although it's not good wine, at least it's better than the Tianzue here. Moreover, you don't have to be angry over this kind of person. It's not worth it. At this moment, a voice came from the side. Lin Rei was shocked because he had heard this voice before when he entered the city. Taoist Shen Guang. Yes, it was him. At that time, the system had even confirmed it. Hee, I didn't expect that we would meet again after parting just a moment ago. This is really fate. After thinking about it, Lin Rei quickly replied to Taoist Shen Guang. Hee, it's nothing. In fact, I'm not angry. I just don't understand. They have wine but they don't take it out. Tell me, a restaurant that sells wine. At this point, Lin Rei didn't continue. He subconsciously reached for the wine bottle on the table, but just as he grabbed the bottle, he remembered that there was no more wine in it. Alas! He sighed. His face was full of disappointment. He looked out of the window and used his divine sense to observe Taoist Shen Guang. Hee, so that's how it is. His spiritual root has been damaged. No wonder his cultivation has regressed so much. Tiske, I really don't know what kind of person could injure an immortal venerable cultivator, a top expert of the divine world. At this moment, Linley's divine sense had already scanned Taoist Shen Guang's body. As for the wounds on his body, Linley had noticed them at first glance. However, he was very curious as to who had injured him, and who had been so insidious. Moreover, looking at the injury, the person who had injured him obviously wanted him to suffer a fate worse than death. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left such a big scar on his spiritual root. Moreover, he also knew about the injury. According to his current situation, if he didn't grasp his obsession, he was afraid that his cultivation would continue to regress until the day his lifespan ran out. Hee, who is this? Who said that he didn't want to treat his injury? What happened now? You changed your name. At this time, the system's mocking voice sounded in his mind. For a moment, Lin Rei felt embarrassed and explained. Don't misunderstand. I'm just ignoring it now. I saw it by chance. Although Lin Rei said so, the system still said, Tisk, only a ghost would believe it. You, don't I know? If you want to save him, then save him. Moreover, this person's spiritual root is not bad. It's a fire attribute spiritual root. Moreover, it's of the best quality. Although he's a bit old, if he's cured, he'll be a person who can become a saint in the future. Listening to the system's indirect approach to subdue this person, Lin Rei knew that the system was thinking for him. But even so, he didn't intend to treat him now. Little brother, drink some of my wine. It's definitely not worse than the Tianzue here. Why don't you try it? At this time, just as Lin Rei was talking to the system, a sudden voice from the outside world woke him up. Then Lin Rei said unhurriedly, "Oh, okay. Okay." As the saying goes, deference is no substitute for obedience. Since there's wine, and it's not worse than the Tianzue, Lin Rei agreed without hesitation. Then, he extended his divine sense and looked at the wine jar in front of him. For a moment, he didn't have any reservations. He grabbed the jar and raised his head to drink a mouthful of wine. Hiss! Phew, it was sweet. Although it was called wine, it was more like fruit juice. It was like fruit juice, but it also tasted like wine. This wonderful feeling made Lin Rei curious for a moment. Then, he took another mouthful. Then, feeling the taste of the wine, Lin Rei couldn't stop drinking. He didn't stop until the jar was in his stomach, and there was no more wine in the jar. Then, Lin Rei stopped. Bang! There was a loud sound. Perhaps he was a little carried away by drinking. The moment he put down the wine jar, he used too much force and directly cracked the table from the middle. As for the wine jar, the moment Lin Rei let go of his hand, cracks like a spider web appeared on it. However, this was just an unintentional mistake. As a result, it aroused the dissatisfaction of the people around. A blind man is drinking wine. I really don't know what he's thinking. Yes, look at him. Although he looks okay, he's blind. But if he's blind, then he's blind. He still comes out to drink and harm others. Really? At this moment, when the people around heard the strange sound, they immediately looked in the direction of the sound. Finally, when everyone's eyes fell on Lin Rei, they all stole the voice and the face at this moment. Boy, are you here to make trouble? Let me tell you, this restaurant doesn't welcome you. You'd better pay now and leave obediently. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rough. At this moment, the voice of the waiter came into Lin Rei's ears. For a moment, the dissatisfaction with the waiter was completely released at this moment. Oh, I'm here to eat. How I eat is my business. Now, you want to drive me away without eating? Do you really think I'm easy to bully? Speaking of this, Lin Rei was angry. Originally, it was just a simple meal. Who would have thought that when he came here, he would be ridiculed by others one after another? At this moment, my family's young master is not someone you can despise and humiliate. Go to hell. Gotcha. The sound of bones breaking was accompanied by a gloomy voice. It sounded like the voice of an evil spirit from hell. After everyone heard this voice, they felt a chill run down their backs. Large beads of sweat continuously flowed down their foreheads. At this moment, the waiter who humiliated Lin Rei before was held in the air by the neck by a middle-aged man in black clothes. The difference was that the waiter was still baring his fangs and brandishing his claws. At this moment, the waiter's body was limp as he was held in the hand of the black-clothed man. His eyes were filled with hatred as he quietly turned into a corpse. Ah, how can this person? At this moment, the surrounding people saw that the waiter was no longer alive as he was held in the hand of the black-clothed man. For a moment, everyone was stunned. Of course, screams were unavoidable. When did this deity appear? At this moment, Taoist Shen Guang and the other person who was next to Lin Rei were shocked. The appearance of this black-clothed man was completely unexpected. They didn't even notice him at all. At this moment, the black-clothed man's body was emitting a powerful murderous aura. They felt that this was inconceivable. They didn't understand why they didn't notice such a powerful murderous aura at all. Bang! At this moment, the black-clothed man moved. He held the waiter's hand and threw him towards the counter. Then, he turned around and went to Lin Rei's side. He came to the side of the blind man who was ridiculed by everyone and respectfully said, "Young master, that little brother is already dead.
How should we deal with these people? What this? No. It can't be. This is the rhythm of wanting to kill us. At this moment, after hearing the black-clothed man's words, everyone present panicked. Of course. Apart from Daoist Xian Guang and the other person who was sitting at the same table as Lin Rei, everyone else was frightened. Haha, Ghostly, killing is not good. Hearing Ghostly's words, Lin Rei smiled and said, killing is not good. However, if you don't kill, it is even worse. This time, the waiter is already dead. The others are just ants. You don't need to care about them. Yes, young master. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Ghostly expressionlessly nodded and immediately prepared to leave. Okay, you don't need to leave. Sit down and chat with me. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Ghostly was in a dilemma. It was reasonable to say that he was the lower body. If he ate with his master, it would be a bit inappropriate. Haha, it's fine. Come. Using his divine sense to examine Ghostly's appearance, he knew why Ghostly was in a dilemma. Yes, young master. There was no other way. It was not good for him to disobey Lin Rei's orders. In the end, he could only obediently do as he was told. However, everyone was stunned by this scene. They had already forgotten about eating, and it wasn't just the others. Even Daoist Xian Guang, who was sitting next to Linley, had a different look in his eyes. Chapter 626. Naturally, Daoist Xian Guang didn't look down on him previously. But now, looking at the middle-aged man sitting opposite him, Daoist Xian Guang re-evaluated this young man in front of him. He didn't believe that someone who could have such an expert was an ordinary person. Furthermore, even though his cultivation had regressed, his paragon divine sense was still present. Even though he couldn't see through the cultivation of the young man in front of him, he was similarly unclear about the cultivation of the black-robed man who appeared before him. But judging from the other party's aura, Daoist Xian Guang could tell that he was a paragon divine sense expert. For such an expert to be able to protect this young man and call him young master, Daoist Xian Guang could tell that this person wasn't simple. At the same time, Daoist Xian Guang started guessing the origin of this young man. Amen. At this moment, Ghostly, who had just sat down, sensed that the people sitting across from him were looking at him and Linley in unison. He let out a cold snort, which contained the might of a supreme god. Puh! Daoist Xian Guang coughed out a mouthful of blood. His face paled. You! The middle-aged man who was with Daoist Xian Guang at this moment thought of the previous snort when he saw Daoist Xian Guang coughing out blood. Even though he didn't feel anything wrong, he was certain that the black-robed man was the culprit. Don't Long Tian. Seeing Long Tian stand up, Xian Guang hurriedly tried to stop him. After guessing the strength of the other party, he didn't want his friend to court his own death. What are you doing? He even injured you. Even though I don't know what his cultivation is, my peak middle stage God Emperor cultivation should be enough to deal with him. Seeing Xian Guang obstructing him, perhaps because of his vanity, or perhaps because of his face, he did not care about Xian Guang's persuasion. At that moment, he released his middle-stage God Emperor cultivation and charged towards the two of them. Humph! An ant dares to touch my young master? You are truly seeking death. Sensing Long Tian's power and pressure, Linley didn't move. He maintained his smile. Ghostly, on the other hand, couldn't sit still any longer. His original mission was to protect Linley. Although he knew that this person wouldn't be able to harm his young master, he couldn't just ignore him. Looking at Long Tian, Ghostly instantly released his pressure. With the exception of Lin Rei, everyone present was enveloped by Ghostly's divine sense. Today, my young master just wants to have a good meal. You guys are talking so much nonsense. From now on, if you have any more nonsense, then don't leave today. Let's do it here. Ghostly's tone was gloomy, and his entire being was filled with the aura of a bully as he roared at everyone present. For a moment, the originally noisy restaurant quieted down after hearing Ghostly's words. There was no sound at all. Even if a needle fell to the ground, it could be heard clearly. Ugh, he watched Ghostly work. For a moment, Lin Rei was stunned. Of course, he didn't stop Ghostly, Sr.
I have eyes but fail to recognize Mount Tai. I beg for senior's forgiveness. This brother of mine was too worried about me, so he offended you. At this moment, Xian Guang, who was sitting opposite of Lin Rei, felt the pressure and immediately begged for forgiveness in a low voice. Haha, a former hierarch expert is actually lowering his voice for a god emperor. TSK, how pitiful. Boom. Xian Guang's mind went blank when he heard Lin Rei's words. His eyes were filled with fear. He stared at Lin Li in disbelief. His voice trembling, he said, You, how did you know who I was? HM? What? A hierarch expert? At this moment, Long Tian heard Lin Rei's words and looked at his companion's expression. He immediately hesitated. Xian Guang had a difficult expression when he heard Long Tian's words. Long Tian, I'm sorry. I'm actually not Xian Guang. Xian Guang is just a fake name I used. My real name is Ling Yuan. I'm a peak late hierarch expert. However, due to certain reasons, my cultivation regressed and I changed my name. Ling Yuan? What? You're Ling Yuan? The former hierarch Ling Yuan of the eastern region? At this moment, Long Tian heard Xian Tian's original name and nodded. However, when he regained his senses, he looked at his friend in shock. There was no other expression on his face other than shock. Ugh. Haha, it's all in the past. Don't worry about it. I'm just a divine monarch expert now. An extremely ordinary one. I'm very likely to regress to the divine monarch realm in the future. Xian Guang smiled bitterly when he saw his companion's expression and tone. On the opposite side, Lin Rei's divine sense had been probing Xian Guang. When Xian Guang revealed his identity, there was bitterness in his eyes. However, apart from that, there was also hatred. Although he hid it well, he couldn't hide it from Lin Rei. Haha, there must be something fishy about this. To be able to destroy a hierarch to such a state, he must be an expert. Thinking of this, Lin Rei didn't say anything. He just listened to the two's conversation. Perhaps he could obtain some useful information from this. Really? You're really hierarch Ling Yuan. That's great. I can even be friends with you. At this moment, Long Tian was excited when he heard Xian Guang's confirmation. He couldn't help but shout. Sigh, it's just a false reputation. There's no need to be so excited. Moreover, I'm Xian Guang now. As for Ling Yuan would have died 150,000 years ago. Long Tian's smile disappeared the moment he heard Xian Guang's words. He asked in disbelief why? Who in the divine world doesn't know the name hierarch Ling Yuan? Even children know about it. Why? Why would you be reduced to such a state? Moreover, your cultivation level was already at the peak of the late hierarch realm a few 100,000 years ago. Why? Long Tian asked one question after another. At this moment, Xian Guang only had a painful expression on his face. That's right. I also want to know who could make a hierarch like this. At this moment, Lin Rei asked curiously. He really wanted to know who was able to control their strength so well and only injure Xian Guang's spiritual root. The other parts of Xian Guang's body were not damaged at all. Although he knew that there were people who could extract other people's spiritual roots for their own use, he had never heard of anyone who could perfectly destroy a spiritual root. Sigh. Xian Guang said helplessly when he heard Lin Rei's words. His eyes were filled with pain. Back when I was still a hierarch, I found a scroll that could allow me to break through from the divine realm to the saint realm. I was very happy at that time. But who would have thought? When I opened the scroll and saw the contents, I was scared. The contents of the scroll made my heart tremble. Xian Guang's eyes were filled with fear. His body couldn't stop trembling at this moment. One could see how terrifying the scroll was. Even after so many years, a peak ultimate god cultivator was still so terrified. What is that? Why are you like this? Long Tian asked doubtfully as he looked at his friend's dazzling appearance. It's a technique. It's a technique that can allow people to break through to the saint realm. It's something that shouldn't exist. Xian Guang paused for a moment before continuing. Everyone should know that the reason why we can cultivate is because we're born with a spiritual root. That's the only way we can cultivate. However, that's not a cultivation technique. That's not a cultivation technique. It's a technique that specifically talks about how to devour spiritual roots for your own use. Most importantly, it says that breaking through to the Saint realm requires a top-grade spiritual root. What? There's such a technique? At this moment, Long Tian was shocked. Everyone could imagine this cultivation method. 1 million supreme-grade spirit roots, this concept. Yes, that's right. That's why I'm afraid. It's not only about spiritual roots, it's also about devouring spiritual roots. That's why I stopped cultivating when I saw it. In the end, I brought it back to the clan and sealed it on the top floor of the library. That's where only the patriarchs of the clan can enter. I thought that nobody would know about it, but good things didn't last long. 5 years after I came back from the Divine Realm, the news about the technique spread to the ears of all the hierarchs in the Divine Realm. A group of hierarchs threatened me. I was helpless against so many hierarchs. In the end, I decided to take out the scroll. Who would have thought that when I went to take it out, my wife, she was holding the scroll. When Lin Rei heard that, he understood. However, Long Tian was still listening with great interest. Xian Guang glanced at Lin Li, then continued, at that time, I was very puzzled. I wanted to force her to hand over the scroll, but who would have thought that my wife, who had been with me for tens of thousands of years, was also a hierarch? I had no idea at all. Because of that, for some reason, I was struck by her palm, but I was still able to retrieve the scroll and hand it over to the hierarch. Just like that, they left. At that time, of course, I didn't know. After that, my cultivation base began to drop. Although the drop was slow, I still discovered it. Unfortunately, a rebellion broke out in the clan at that time. In order to stop it, not only did I use the forbidden book, I also willingly dropped my cultivation to stop it. But who would have thought that all of this was actually a conspiracy between me and my cousin in the clan? In the end, because my cultivation dropped too much, I was no match for them and fled. Chapter 627. Hearing this, Sky Dragon sighed and said, I finally know why Supreme God Lingyuan disappeared back then. For a long time, everyone thought that you had broken through the Divine Realm and entered the Sage Realm. Who would have thought that you would encounter such a thing? Yes, it's possible. You're now a Supreme God. However, I'm curious. After hundreds of thousands of years, your cultivation couldn't have dropped so little, right? Regarding Shen Guang. From what he said, he knew that the former Supreme God in front of him was still all right and worthy of his help. Sigh. The reason why I'm in the Sage Realm now is because I've been looking for pills and methods to heal myself. However, for hundreds of thousands of years, other than stabilizing my current realm and not letting it drop, there's nothing else I can do. Oh, so you're here this time because of that thing. At this moment, hearing Shen Guang's words, Long Tian suddenly realized something. That's right. Not long ago, I heard that a secret realm appeared in Tianwei. Moreover, according to rumors, it's a secret realm left behind by a sage. I want to go in and see if there's anything that can help me recover. At this moment, Lin Rei was listening to the two of them. The more he listened, the more confused he became. When he heard about the secret realm, he knew that there was something here and it was something that could make cultivators go crazy. Seeing Lin Li's confused expression, Long Tian chuckled and explained, it's like this. In the past few days, for some reason, a secret realm suddenly appeared in Sky Might City. Furthermore, there's a secret realm here. When it appeared, it alarmed many people. As for who left the secret realm behind, no one knows. However, there are rumors that it's a secret realm created by a sage. As for the specifics, no one knows. Hearing Long Tian's words, Lin Rei hesitated. He was no stranger to sages. Xie Feng, who followed beside him, was a sage. Although it was only rumored that it was a sage's secret realm, if it was true, then there would be a lot of treasures inside. However, if it wasn't you, then there's nothing wrong with going in. When will the secret realm open? I don't know. I heard that it's going to open soon. I don't know the specifics. Hearing this, he knew he wouldn't be able to leave for the time being because he was also interested in the mystic realm here. By the way, do you still have that wine? Everyone was silent. While the four of them were staring at each other, Lin Rei said to Xian Guang.
Yes.
Yes. After saying that, Xian Guang smiled as he took out a few jugs of wine and handed them to Lin Rei for him to enjoy.
Hee.
Seeing him like this, Lin Rei smiled and picked up the beer jug to drink. So, are we going to save him or not? At this moment, the system's voice suddenly appeared. Lin Rei was stunned for a moment before replying, "Save?" This kind of person is still possible. Since he is willing to use his time to cultivate for the sake of his life, this kind of person is still worth saving. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the system was stunned for a moment. After a long time it came back to its senses and said again, "Okay, since you want to save him, hurry up and save him." They're right. When I heard what they said just now, I checked and found that there is indeed a sage's secret realm here. However, this sage's secret realm is extremely dangerous. I advise you to hurry up and cure him. This way, even if you enter the secret realm, at least you'll be safe.
Really?
There's really a secret realm? Lin Rei didn't doubt the system's words. After all, it had kidnapped him many times before. Therefore he believed it. Yes, this secret realm may be helpful to you. Of course this is what I think. As for what you think, it's up to you. Well, since that's the case, I have to go this time. After all, if there's something good, if I don't go, won't I miss it? After saying that, the system didn't resume. Immediately, Lin Rei exited the system's conversation. I can save you. 4 simple words. In the silent space, Xian Guang and Sky Dragon's ears exploded. However, this sentence was too sudden. For a moment, Xian Guang and Sky Dragon were stunned. They looked at Lin Rei in confusion. Looking at the way they were leading a group, Lin Rei was speechless. It was so obvious that the other party didn't understand. However, for the sake of his supreme god cultivation, Lin Rei spoke again. Xian Guang, I said that I can help you recover your cultivation. I can help you return to your previous state or even more. Boom! At this moment, Xian Guang heard this sentence clearly. However, at this moment his mind was blank. At this moment, his eyes were wet. That's not necessary. Looking at Xian Guang's emotional appearance, Lin Rei was speechless. He didn't expect that his words would make the former supreme god cry. What condition? Haha, I like to deal with smart people. Hearing Xian Guang's question, Lin Li chuckled, then said, The conditions are simple. Become my subordinate. As for that pocket you speak of, I want to enter it. But in order to enter, I must have enough power. So if you agree, I will help you recover your full power before entering the pocket. Of course. Of course, you don't have to agree. After saying that, Lin Rei smiled evilly and continued, however, don't blame me for not warning you. If it really is a sage's secret realm, with your current cultivation, don't even think about finding a way to heal your cultivation. Even if you can enter, it will be enough. Moreover, not only will you have to face the dangers of the secret realm, you will also have to guard against the people around you. Just like this, what can you gain from it? In the end, you might not be able to gain anything and even lose your life. As soon as he said this, Xian Guang immediately fell silent. His expression was so dignified that it made people doubt their life. As for Lin Rei, he had a smile on his face as he used his divine sense to investigate Xian Guang. At this moment, Lin Rei was very confident that he could convince Xian Guang. After all, as long as one was smart, they would know what to choose. Lin Li didn't panic. He just sat there, pouring wine into his mouth non-stop. At this moment, on a street in the western part of Tianwei City, Xie Feng had an anxious expression on her face. She said to Dong Xiaonan, Little brother, how is it? Did you find Brother Lei? No, I looked around but couldn't find him. Maybe Brother Lei didn't follow us when we left. The person who spoke was none other than Xian Guang. It was the 3 people who had separated from Lin Rei when they entered the city. While they were shopping, they suddenly discovered that Lin Rei had disappeared. Immediately, they became anxious. Haha, look at all of you. Remember, you are all cultivators. Don't act like you are ordinary people. At this moment, Xian Guang calmly said to them. Then, she released her divine sense. The divine realm divine sense instantly enveloped the entire city. In the city, whether it was the people in the streets, the people in the restaurants, or the dust on the ground, everything appeared clearly in Xiefeng's mind.
Someone is investigating? At this moment, Lin Rei was sitting in a restaurant. As he was drinking, he suddenly felt a huge divine sense investigating him.
For a moment, he was interested and used his divine sense to investigate the mysterious divine sense.
Haha, this kid.
At this moment, Xiefeng, who was standing on the street, felt Lin Rei's divine sense. She quickly withdrew her divine sense and said to the two people beside her with a smile, "Let's go, we found him." At this moment, when the two people beside her were in a daze, Xiefeng grabbed their shoulders and teleported them away.
Haha, it turns out to be Xiefeng. No wonder this divine sense is so huge. Even I have to be wary of it.
The evil phoenix had observed Linli, and Linli had naturally observed her as well. Upon learning that this enormous divine sense had come from the evil phoenix, Linli hurriedly retracted his divine sense, revealing a hint of a smile on his face. However, what Xiefeng and Lin Rei did not know was that because they released their divine sense, all the experts in the city were shocked. They were all shocked by the two huge divine senses. Tianwei City, which was originally calm, was stirred up by the two people's divine senses. At this moment, at the entrance of the restaurant, Xiefeng, who had disappeared on the street, appeared at the entrance of the restaurant without anyone noticing. At this moment, Ying and the young man, who were led by Xiefeng, saw the restaurant in front of them and instantly knew what was going on.
Let's go.
That guy is eating and drinking inside. After saying that, Xiefeng walked in first. When Ying and the young man heard this, they hurriedly followed behind. In the Suicide Inn, a huge pressure suddenly suppressed the two of them, making them unable to move even half a step forward.
What's going on? Why is there such a strong pressure here?
Ying and the young man, who were suppressed, were puzzled. However, at the same time, the two of them did not give up resisting. The moment they felt the pressure, they used their divine senses to resist. Of course, Lin Rei naturally saw their arrival. However, Xiefeng was too fast. The moment he looked up, Xiefeng was already in front of him, as if she was strolling in a courtyard without any pressure. However, Ying and the young man were not so relaxed. When they saw the two of them being suppressed, they gave Ghostly a look. Ghostly understood and immediately withdrew the pressure on the two of them. When the pressure disappeared, Ying and the young man, who were relaxed, quickly walked toward Lin Rei. At this moment, Ying, who had already arrived at his side, took a jar of wine and began to drink without any hesitation.
I agree to your condition. As long as you know me, I will do anything you want me to do. Even if you want me to die, I am willing. At this moment, just when Lin Rei was looking at his wife, children, and brothers, Shen Guang's voice was heard.
Ha ha ha, okay. Since you said so, it's settled. Hearing Shen Guang's words, Lin Rei directly took out the soul control pill from his ring. Although he knew who Shen Guang was and what he had experienced, he still needed this pill. After all, what happened in the past was still fresh in his memory. He did not dare to be careless.
Here. Eat this and you will become my person.
At the same time, I will naturally fulfill my promise to you. Of course, the benefits I will give you will only be greater.
You can rest assured about this.
After saying that, he handed the soul control pill to Shen Guang. As for whether he would eat it or not, it would be up to him. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Shen Guang was stunned. His eyes were filled with confusion. No matter what, he was someone who had experienced being beaten into adulthood. Naturally, he knew what it meant to eat this pill. However, when he thought about the conditions that Shen Guang had proposed, he was unable to refuse. At this moment, Shen Guang was caught in a dilemma. And no, Shen Guang. If you eat this, you will truly be finished. What if you eat it and fail to fulfill your promise? At that time, it will be too late for you to regret it. At this moment, when Long Tian heard the entire conversation and saw the pill before him, his complexion changed greatly. He immediately drove his motorcycle to stop Shen Guang. Sure enough, when he heard Shen Guang's words, a light flashed through his eyes. Then he turned to Lin Rei and said, "That's right. Long Tian is right. What if I eat it and you fail to fulfill your promise to me? What should I do then? At this moment, Lin Rei looked at Long Tian with slight anger. Then he said to Shen Guang, I will leave this pill here. It's up to you whether you eat it or not. Of course, I said before that you should think about it carefully. As for your cultivation, it is actually not essential to me. I just didn't want to give up on it. After saying that, Lin Rei waved his hand in the air. Suddenly, the other two ghost kings of the ghost realm, who were hiding in the air, instantly appeared behind him. Tell him your cultivation. Tell him if I must have his cultivation. See this. At this moment, when he saw the two ghost kings that suddenly appeared behind Lin Rei, their auras were the same as the cultivators from before, Shen Guang suddenly felt a sense of defeat. Yes, young master. At this moment, when the three ghost kings heard Lin Rei's order, they immediately revealed their cultivation. Peak Hierarch, Half-Step Sage. Peak Hierarch, Half-Step Sage. Peak Hierarch, Half-Step Sage. What? How is this possible? 3 half-step sages? Since when did the divine world have so many experts? At this moment, when Long Tian heard the three ghost kings reveal their cultivation, his face was filled with disbelief. He couldn't believe that such a thing was possible. In his world, he had never heard of so many half-step sages in the divine world. However, Long Tian was Long Tian. Shen Guang didn't think so. He could sense the cultivation of the three ghost kings standing in front of him. Each of them was stronger than when he was still in the divine world. Moreover, it wasn't an ordinary level of strength. It was extremely strong. When he saw this, Shen Guang was stunned. Thinking back to his previous thoughts, he laughed at himself. How is it? Do you want to eat it? If not, I will leave now. After all, I don't want to waste AI Duo's time here. Looking at Shen Guang, he knew. At this moment, there was nothing that could change his mind. As for Shen Guang, he was determined to eat him. As expected, as soon as Lin Rei spoke, Shen Guang's voice rang out. I will eat it. As long as it can restore my original cultivation, I will eat it. After saying that, Shen Guang reached for the soul-controlling pill on the table and ate it in one gulp. Seeing this, Lin Rei relaxed. Although he said that such a cultivator was dispensable, due to the special circumstances, he had no choice but to say so. To be honest, he really needed a cultivator of this realm. Hee. Congratulations on the news. I didn't expect that after we left for a while, you would actually take in such a cultivator whose realm dropped. But fortunately, it's not hopeless. As long as he eats some medicinal pills, he'll be able to recover. And that's right. When he heard Xie Feng's voice, Lin Rei smiled and said to her. Then, he saw that his wife had already come to his side. Is this place fun? It's all right. There are quite a lot of people. Moreover, there are even more cultivators. I don't know what is going on here. When he heard his wife's words, Lin Rei smiled and explained. I heard that there is a secret realm here. It seems like it will appear in a few days. So, I know. You want to stay here and watch the secret realm open. After that, you want to go in and take a look around before leaving, right? You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.